I'm just waiting for Connor's introduction to the episode that I know he's prepared for.
Oh, mate, are you introducing it?
Yo, welcome to the first crossover of Middle-earth Crisis and the Human Energy Field podcast. This is episode 33. We've recorded a lot in advance, so just to get our bearings. We've got all our settings done. Audacity's looking good, so we're ready to jump straight into it.
Ready to lift off. Thanks for being here, guys.
Pleasure, mate. Good. Fucking pleasure.
Jamie, how are you doing?
Psyched, mate. Well, looking forward to this. So, been looking forward to it. I've got my soapbox ready to stand on. See what I think about Games Workshop. You know what I mean?
Love that. Is this going to be about smashing Games Workshop, isn't it?
Do you know what? Right, it's a funny thing, innit? Because I remember a little while ago, it became cool to hate on Games Workshop, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think it is anymore. I think people are like, nah, it's like, they're doing some good stuff, and some bad stuff. But I think people can just have their own opinions now. Whereas I remember even just 5 years ago,
there was no redeeming features, was there? It was fucking shit, absolute shit. But now you're right. You've got enough information and enough behaviours to make your own decision on them now.
GW have changed the way they do things as well, though, haven't they? Like the leak stuff early, so there's none of this like people running around trying to discover what GW are doing. They just tell you.
Yeah, it's so much better.
And if people do that, they've got like an article ready to like bang out the next day.
They have, aren't they? They're on top of it, aren't they? But I reckon sometimes they leak stuff themselves, and then they can put that article out, and it just drums up interest, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a massive hype train, and it works. People lap it up.
Like what? Give us an example. What have they done that you reckon might be leaked recently?
Oh, fuck knows. I mean, they've got to have done some stuff around that Cursed City, because the hype on that was absolutely insane.
Like that Cursed City thing has been a bit of a curse, hasn't it? Really, it hasn't gone to plan.
Well, it's limited, isn't it? It's like everything's gone. Really? It's never coming back. Why do that? I mean, I don't get it.
Do you know what it is, right? GW have done this thing, and they've done it for years. From knowing as a customer and from working with them, I've learned that everything GW do is essentially limited edition, right? Because it's only ever available while it's available. And some things are available for years and decades. Some things just sell out with no rhyme and reason. They never use the words like limited edition anymore, but stuff just disappears.
Yeah.
So to get something now, if you want to get it, you've got to get in mega early or pre-order it or do whatever.
It strikes the fear into people as well, doesn't it? Innit?
Yeah.
So like, they're gonna fucking buy it because otherwise,
fear of missing out, innit? It's fucking full on
FOMO.
It's gonna sit in your bedroom or in your fucking loft for the next 4 years until you pay it. Until you sell it, but at least you've got it. It's like, oh fuck that, mate.
Well, it really does work because I've owned
both
of the Warhammer quests before this one. And when this one come out, I thought, I didn't need another one. I've never played the second one. I've played the first one a handful of times. I'm not that bothered by it, so I'll just give this one a miss. It's got some canny minis in it, but I'm not that bothered. And then the minute it's sold out, there's a bit of me brain's going, oh man, I wish I'd bought one. Could I find one? And I'm like, stop it. Yeah. You didn't want it before you knew it wasn't sold out.
And now it's sold out, you want it, don't you?
All right, well, thankfully I've talked sense into myself, but I think it'll come back out anyway. I do think they'll re-release it.
It's weird that if they did re-release it, because I think the sales that compared to Blackstone Fortress is like, they're not even in the same ballpark. But that was available for 3-4 years with a load of expansions and supporting White Dwarf. That was a full release with a full backing and all the rest of it. Whereas what the fuck are they going to do for Cursed City? Any expansions they release is only going to be marketed to the fucking 8 people who've got a copy. Do you know what I mean?
They won't do any support for it
no.
when it's not available, because it doesn't make any sense. So GW will never support a game that you can't go into the shop and buy. That's just
the
part
whole
of their
point,
sales principle, isn't it?
What is it, Cursed City? Is it the same as that thing me and Paulo used to play? What's it called?
No, the Underworld. No, it's the new Warhammer quest. So you choose your adventurer, go and bash around in a dungeon, get some loot. It's basically that, but every year, the last one they released was Blackstone Fortress.
Okay, I see what
the
you're
one
saying.
before that was what was it, Jamie?
Shadows over Hammerhawk.
That was different, that one, because you did a GM for that one, didn't you?
Aye.
Yeah.
I did, aye.
That sounded
because the Silver Tower ran itself, like the enemies ran on like an AI.
I wanted that. It looked fucking great, that Silver Tower, because the original Warhammer Quest from the 90s, the AI ran the baddies, didn't it?
Yeah. And it was all right, but I mean, I've only played it a handful of times, and I ended up just selling it because replay value just wasn't there on it for me.
Right.
Once I'd played through the campaign twice, I was like, I'm not too fussed by it. Like,
Doesn't change much.
no, it doesn't at all.
Yeah.
And it's got some lovely minis in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, these boxes are just an excuse to sell new minis, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But GW have never even traditionally done very well with games that have other components in them. They've always struggled, and this is what Curse City, this is the problem. It's people supplying the other game components.
Well, like the boards and the dice and stuff like that.
Aye, yeah.
Well, I mean, I would only buy it for the minis anyway. I wouldn't care about any of the stuff. I'm only interested in the cool heroes and converting them to other things, and not actually playing Curse City at all, but just using the bits. So the gaming components aren't really an issue.
But why
for
would
me.
you pay 100 how much was it? 120 quid for like 8 adventurers and some fucking Age of Sigmar models?
Swang that.
Yeah, fuck that noise. I mean, I would have to play it to get any money, like get your money's worth out of it. Do you know what I mean? So I will play at this, and you fucking will sit down next to me and play with it. Because I've spent 120 quid on it.
I was like that with the Horus Heresy board games. I made people play them.
They were supposed to be good though, weren't
spent
they?
that much money on them. Burning of Prospero was mint. It was really good, and it was well hard for the Thousand Sons to win.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed playing it. But it was a real. You had to spend some time sitting down playing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't just pick it up and play it in an hour or something.
Yeah, it's
Might
not.
as well play a game of 40k or something like that.
Well, or 30k.
Yeah.
Oh, 30k, sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
Well,
obviously.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a weird decision that to put them out as essentially board games as a vehicle to get some plastic heresy kits out. It works because the people went fucking mental for them, but it was thinking outside the box, wasn't it?
Heresy's in a weird place, though, isn't it?
Oh,
I
mate.
really can't predict what they're going to do with it.
I was speaking to Brendan out about this. I reckon Heresy is going to essentially be brought into GW main. Most, like because Forge World, you might as well forget what Forge World is anymore. It's part of Games Workshop. All the models are CAD. There's no real difference between the fucking high-end blister packs in GW and the Forge World models now, is there?
No.
So if you look at Necromunda, that's a basic box that fucking little Bob can go into Games Workshop and buy it. He could go, Mum, I want that, and you can fucking buy it. And like Jamie said, that's going to get support through other GW releases and Forge World to keep getting it. I reckon that's going to be like a specialist game like Blood Bowl and Necromunda, and there'll be a Heresy box to get you going. That would make sense to me as to where they're going to take it.
The issue for me is what they've done with the Primaris in basically the scaled up Marines in 40k is what they've done. Can they then continue to flog a game where the Marines are small? I don't think they will.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. That's weird, isn't it? It's a different game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different game.
I don't know.
It's not a different universe, but it's a different time.
It's just like historical 40k.
Exactly that. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So like when you bring back like Warhammer Fantasy, if they bring back Warhammer Fantasy Battle, it'll be the same kind of thing, won't it? It'll be historical, Age of Sigmar or whatever.
Yeah, the Warhammer Fantasy Old World game that Forge World were going to do was essentially just Horus Heresy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just going to be humans and stuff anyway. So
like different, like Kislev versus Cathay or something. That's good.
yeah,
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would actually.
they wouldn't do Cathay, but they'd do Kislev.
I know what you're saying, yeah,
different parts of the Empire. Probably do Border Princes. You know, what I mean, all that kind of stuff. But anything in that part of the Empire, it'd be all right, but it'd just be really expensive.
But now Forge World, would Forge World still do it, or would GW now do it as a specialist game with Forge World support? Because that's the way they've kind of gone with everything else, isn't it?
Yeah,
that
is the way that gone with Adeptus Titanicus.
Exactly,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can buy that in GW. So that if they did that, then I mean, people would go fucking mad for it.
I don't know. To me, I think GW are quietly just getting rid of all of the small scale Marines, and they won't continue to produce them, and they are the backbone of the Horus Heresy line. And I think once you stop producing miniatures in that scale, you then can't really support Horus Heresy unless they start at some point in the future when all the hoo-has die down, they do Horus Heresy in Primaris scale.
Yeah, the scale, but not Primaris Marines. That would be a good shout. I see what
You'd
you're
have to
saying.
rejig all the fucking tanks out though. Every single Land Raider, fucking
Right,
all
and
that.
you have to buy some more.
Yeah.
Clapping their hands, innit?
I mean, to be fair, people have scaled down these tanks to epic, haven't they? They've used 3D printers and scaled them down, so all GW do is fucking scale them up by three notches.
Yeah,
That's it,
just it's like exactly what they did with the flyers from Aeronautica and for the Titans.
That's it, yeah.
They just took the file, as you say, they took the file on the computer, scaled it down, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. So scale it up for your bigger Marines.
So I cannot see what they're going to do with Horus Heresy. I cannot call it, but I cannot see it existing.
I think you're right, Jamie, because they've even Primaris the Age Sigmar, and it's only been out for like 8 years or something. Like, it's just stupid, isn't it? Everything's coming out so fast. The rotation's like off the charts. It's crazy.
It's hard to keep up with what I mean. When you used to read White Dwarf, it'd give you the next couple of months' releases. You'd be like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. I've got Connor fucking messaging me saying, "Have you seen this?" every 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, White Dwarf's not arrived yet. Everything is fucking coming out that quick on the internet. You can't keep up. I just fucking, I just give up, me. I have to tell him, like, give me a link and let me have a look at it, because I just can't keep up with what's coming out.
Yeah, you're right. It does. Stuff comes thick and fast, doesn't it? And you kind of buy it. Well, I mean, some people can. Lucky people who can afford everything. But you can't buy everything, can you?
No, can you fuck?
How the fuck would you? Why'd you buy those other shitty
because it's sell out. And you miss out.
yeah, you miss out, yeah.
You can't even... Yeah, true, fuck me. That's bad, that.
Age of Sigmar's coming into a new edition, isn't it?
We mentioned that. Fucking, and the last episode's been about for, what, 2.5 years? If that?
It didn't feel long to me.
No, not at all. Not for a brand new edition, because that box had fucking everything in it. It had lore books. It had fucking... It was a good box, actually, for someone who wants to get into Age of Sigmar. But to rejig it already seems a bit fast.
I keep thinking that Age of Sigmar's new, and then to realise it's going into a 3rd edition, I'm like...
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
And they're already talking about 10th edition for 40k.
Are they? Fucking hell. They haven't even brought any fucking Xeno books out yet, barely.
Well, I think what they'll do is it won't make any of the codexes redundant. It'll just be a revised core book. Aye.
See you later. Thing is, though, like with the mini Marines,
Scouts, Terminators.
Oh, I've got a Terminator. How could you get rid of a Terminator? That is Warhammer 40k.
They'll have to make it bigger. They'll just make it bigger.
Shit though, aren't they?
Have you put a Terminator next to a Primaris Marine? It looks stupid, and that's the problem. That's the problem with the Primaris Marines. They make the other like suits and whatever look daft.
I think just like get your CAD auto design out, and then like when you drag the diagonal line, just do that, and then print them out again. And that's all you could do. But you can't like get rid of them. That's mental.
I mean, if you look at them, the size of them, if you terminated a Primaris, you got getting towards fucking box dread size, aren't you?
Yeah, well, do them up as well because they're sick. Yeah. Don't get rid of the standard box.
It'd be size of a fucking shoebox, though, wouldn't it?
I'm not getting into that, but them old dreadnoughts are horrible. They are rubbish. Those Ed 209 looking motherfuckers. No.
Yeah. I like a boxy bro.
Yeah, they look hard, don't they? They are fucking Warhammer.
The Contemptor dreadnought's lovely. The rest are a bit of a waste of time.
I don't know. I got a soft spot for boxy ones.
Yeah, I think. Come on, Jamie, you're as old as me. You remember?
I know. Yeah.
That metal one when it first come out, like Beyond the Fell-Handed, and that Blood Angels one in 1993 or something. Your mind was fucking blown, and surely it's still got a bit of a. There's a little ember of love in there for those box dreads.
I mean, in a way, I just look at them and I just think they don't look cool. No, they don't. They don't look sleek. They don't look like machines of war.
They're supposed to be sleek.
They're a tank on legs.
That Thousand Suns Dreadnought is absolutely gorgeous. That box one.
Nah, I'm just not with it. I'm sorry. Like I don't remember ever really liking them. I remember looking. They look like they make funny noises when they walk and that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? They look like comedy noises.
I do know what you mean.
It looks like a walking tomb of a fucking dead marine. Like, it looks actually like a dreadnought, and the other one's like the Contemptors and stuff.
I'll give you this. It's better than the Grey Knight and whatever.
It's a walking sarcophagus, isn't it? The other one looks like a fella.
Yeah.
I think if they played up that part of it, that would be really good. And because you used to be able to get one where you could see the skeleton in it in the front. That would have been mint if you could like a see-through section in the middle where there's this little bit of skull or whatever. Like that'd be mint. But
you want like an Invicta war suit. That's what you like in it, Jamie.
Alright, that's it. Like that's exactly it. Yeah.
Is that fucking dreadnought with a roll cage on it? Fuck off. Yeah, fuck off. It is bollocks, that, innit?
Yeah. I mean, you know what also blows my mind about the Primaris stuff, right? It's been out long enough now. Where's all the Primaris vehicles?
Because they've still got they've not phased out the original plastics, have they? They're still driving around in rhinos. You get a Primaris' foot in a fucking rhino. So I mean,
what is there? There's Predators, Land Raiders, and Rhinos and Dreads. That's it, innit?
which only
Well, you get all
make
the
it bigger.
different ones, all the different tanks that have got the Rhino chassis on them.
Indicators, whirlwinds,
Predators, all the rest
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the regular Marines, you wouldn't fit 10 of them in a Rhino anyway.
No,
It's always daft.
No,
Scales
no.
already
Yeah,
fucked,
yeah.
isn't it? So,
Aye.
yeah, why break
But
it?
I'm just surprises me they haven't brought out a proper range of Primaris vehicles, and the fact that they haven't done it yet means I'm wondering whether they ever will.
Yeah, I don't think they will because I think they're gonna shrink everything down. I think they're waiting on redoing the Aspect Warriors as well. I don't think they're gonna bring them all back out. Like, I don't think they'll redo Water Spiders because like there's too much in there in one codex. I think they're gonna try and squash it all down, me.
Really?
Like if you look at Thousand Suns and stuff like that and Harlequins, all the newer ranges, there's not a lot of actual models, not models, like entries kind of thing into each codex. So I think they're just gonna squash it all down anyway. And then if you do want say you've got the Chaos book and you do want some special stuff, that's where you get your Thousand Suns or your Death Guard, and they've got limited options. They haven't got everything in the Chaos Codex, so they're just going to squish stuff down.
Yeah.
I think they will go to less options. I agree with that.
They'd still have to have, if you think about it, I suppose at present, you'd still have to have all the normal scale Predators and shit, because Chaos Space Marines were Space Marines before Primaris. So unless they completely retcon the last 10,000 years, Chaos Space Marines are still mini Marines, and their tanks would have to still be mini tanks.
You know what, though? They're not. I mean, all you need to do is look at the Death Guard minis from...
Yeah, they're massive, aren't they?
Yeah. They are way bigger than a regular... They're pretty much Primaris size.
Yeah.
So what they've been doing with the new Chaos Space Marines is just making them bigger on the sly.
Yeah. Though they are them Alpha Legion ones that I've got, aren't they? They're heroic scale, aren't they? They're not fucking...
The longer...
Yeah.
The limbs are bigger and stuff like that. The what would it like properly sized? I don't know what the word would be.
Yeah, scaled.
You look like a human in a thing instead of like a little dwarf dude in a suit of armor.
Yeah, they are a bit more.
Yeah, those true scale Marines always look good,
That's
man.
it.
Every time someone true scales something, it always looks
exactly.
much better.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how chibi the old Marines looked until you see a Primaris.
They are.
Keep big shoulder pads and keep massive heat.
But I think introducing Primaris at a different scale, they kind of like shot themselves in the foot a little bit because of all the other models in the range that are smaller scale. It's like there's no good way to really change the look of a Space Marine because you've just got so much to deal with.
I think the way they've done it is, and I don't use this word very often with GW, but it was genius, really, what they did.
What other way could they do it, you know?
The other option was just to say we're making Marines bigger because the models have been around a long time, we're just going to bring out some new ones.
Yeah.
Play with the old ones if you want, but here's a proper size one. But the new, that the neckbeards would just unite and take over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they couldn't do it, so that's why they had to make up all this stupid backstory.
Yeah. It is stupid.
Everyone's bought into it though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's genius.
Yeah.
Everyone's bloody loving it.
Can we run through what is the backstory of the Primaris Marines coming into play?
Is it even worth it? I think I read it and I've literally forgot it because it's just so shit. It's something to do with that Belisarius Cole guy and Robert Gilliman. And they're like, I don't know, it's one of the things where they're like, oh yeah, but this has been planned for ages. And I'm like, yeah, but has it though? Like,
Yeah. Basically, he's been tinkering away for 10,000 years and then all of a sudden...
That's it.
All of a sudden just says, oh, look, I've made Marines bigger.
Yeah.
All right, champion lad, aye, brilliant.
Just in time for that new range. Yeah. Good timing, mate. Nice one.
I don't understand why it would be such a problem because GW, they redo models every now and then. So... You know, Orc Boys used to be a certain way, and then they're re-released what I'll call newer ones, even though they've been around donkeys. And they might produce some new ones. So we're going to get new Guard minis. Like, ranges are like renewed and rejigged over time. I just don't understand why they didn't just bring out Primaris Marines. And well, I guess I do because I know the outrage, but GW could have handled it, man. Just went, nah, here it is.
Yeah.
That's the lid with Warhammer Fantasy Battles and Age of Sigmar. It's not that big of a deal, is it? Like everyone fucking flipped the lid when we did the base sizes, and now everyone's forgot about it. So it's not that big of a deal, is it?
People forget. I mean, people want to play and they want to paint models, and if a fucking base size changes or the scale changes a little bit over time, they'll fucking flip the lid for like 10 minutes. They'll go on to Bolter and Chainsaw or some shit like that, have a moan about it, a proper entitled moan, and then within 10 minutes they'll fucking forget about it, and then they'll just be doing the same as everyone else.
And there's not a problem with it because the Primaris Marines do look better, and there's no denying that at all. So if they did what Jamie said and they just said, all right, we're doing away with them. You can still play with your old ones if you want, and then and then you do the Primaris Marines, and you'd be like, my army looks fucking shit. And then you'd go on fucking Whaling Games, and you'd get all the fucking Primaris Marines.
Yeah, you fucking would, wouldn't you? If all your mates were playing Primaris, and you're like, yeah, these look absolutely wank on the little bases as well, and they've got the fucking 32mm base. It's like, bollocks to it.
Like when they redid Eldar Jetbikes, they didn't go, oh, that's fucking shit. That I bought fucking 16 of them because he looks sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking weird.
I think part of the problem is they don't want to make. They kind of do want to make the old ones redundant because they want to bring out the new ones, but they can't come out and make them redundant. So they have to put that agency into the hands of the players. So the players will decide to field Primaris because it's better for the game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The players will decide that the old Marines are redundant, not GW. Mm-hmm. And when they stop selling as much, which they will over time, I'm sure the sales have already gone down, and then they'll be removed quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's it.
The better stat lines, you can get there's loads of different weapons on them. They are better, aren't they? I mean,
yeah, they're cool.
Yeah,
I like
old
them.
Fuckers like us are still going to like our Devastator squads and stuff like that. But if I was playing an Imperial force in 40k like Connor is, I'd be fucking buying, even though I might historically prefer my rose-tinted glasses army, I'm going to be buying Primaris because they look sick and they're fun as fuck to paint and they're good to game with. So they are just going to phase them out because why would you not want to play with those?
My only problem is the stuff like Terminators and like assault troops, not assault troops, you know what I mean? Assault dump guys, where it'll be harder to like make them primary scale, and they will just like fade away, which is a bit of a shame because Terminators and stuff like that, they're like one of the things that Rory is cool about. Imperium armies, so which is a shame, but it's just one of the things that'll just have to happen.
There might be somewhere that's Terminator-ish, like they might still do a bigger suit of army.
They have, haven't they? They got the aggressor squads and the I can't remember what the other guys are called.
I mean,
the troop guys.
Yeah, that Gravis armor is essentially just Terminator.
That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah,
right.
Because it's a 2+ save, isn't it? I mean,
of course, yeah. Which is a shame. To be fair, I think.
Yeah,
anyway.
Well, I think those aggressors look nice though. They're nice minis.
Oh mate, they're sick to paint. The Eradicator's fucking sick as well. But it's just one of the things. I guess Chaos will still have them.
Yeah, well they've only just done
anyway.
them Chaos Terminators. I say only just done. The last 18 months maybe.
So maybe it's one of the things. If you want to play a like an older school army, go with Chaos because it makes more sense. Because Chaos have kept that Heresy era stuff, whereas the Imperium in the fluff are moving on. And then they're getting different stuff.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So maybe it does make sense in the fluff, but I don't know.
That's cool.
It just makes me sad.
I like that.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
And I mean, how can you do Space Hulk with Primaris
They won't
Marines?
fit in the fucking corridors, would they?
Mate,
yeah, you know.
Well, they'd be shit for the G-Seals. They won't fucking stand a chance, would they?
Well, unless they sort out, which brings us round full circle, because unless they sort out the supply for the card stock and everything, they won't be doing games like that anymore. So if Curse City is an indicator for anything, it means that those games, we might have seen the run on those games that might be ending now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So GW, they don't make money off the card stock or even books. They just want to make minis. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they first and
I didn't know they didn't make money off books.
No, the rule books and shit like that. They're a vehicle, aren't they, to sell the minis? They're first and foremost a miniature game, like a miniature company.
I thought they would have made money off it though, considering they're like 50 quid a book.
They don't make them themselves, though, do they? They don't print all the books and that. They get them done in China.
Yeah.
All the models are fucking stamped in Nottingham. They got full control over them. They get all the profits. But anything else, third party stuff, all your fucking dice, or your even your paints to some extent, maybe. All that's coming in from somewhere else.
They want to sell minis. That's where they get the lion's share of the profit, because when they sell a Curse City box set, they've got to charge that high price for it because the components are expensive for GW.
Yeah. All them like floor tiles. I mean, stuff like they look amazing. All the Blackstone Fortress floor tiles. If you look anything like that, then yeah, they're going to look great. But stuff like that ain't going to come cheap, is it?
No. So until they sort that out, which I think they will, and I think they'll have to figure out a way around it, whether it's a UK company steps in or whether they manage to get it cheaper from abroad. But they'll definitely be rethinking what they're doing with boxes because of this Curse City. So Curse City, even though it's just one product, it's going to dictate what's going to happen with other products.
Yeah, it's a sign of things to come, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. But I still think they will re-release it at some point.
I think they should. I think that there's enough good minis in there that people would flock for a second printed.
They could.
Well,
yeah.
they might just release the
should,
minis. Yeah. They may turn around and do that.
Quid.
Yeah. Well, just rebox them. They've still, because like like you said, mate, they've got full control over the minis. They can just press reprint on them anytime. Put them in a box with a piece of paper with Age of Sigmar rules for them.
Stat lines and
bosh, bosh, done.
Because that's one. In fairness, that's one of the clever things they've done with all the new releases. All them Underworlds kits, they've got Age of Sigmar stat lines. All the fucking like other box games and that, they're all stat lined up to just dump into your Age of Sigmar games. Which I think that's a fucking great idea.
I like the idea of like them being like bounty hunters in like Underworlds or whatever, like like the Necromunda style thing.
Yeah.
There's like loads of scope for shit like that, but yeah, I don't know.
So are you playing any Age of Sigmar?
Nah.
We played Underworlds while we were at work for a bit.
Yeah, we did.
It just doesn't interest me, Age of Sigmar. It's not. I don't mind the game. I've only played it a couple of times, but it's just one of them things. It's another skirmish game, and I've got a skirmish game, so I can't be asked buying a fucking £300 army just to not use it. Like I don't use my Warhammer.
I think that's it. If we want to play skirmish, we'll play 40k because it's very similar. Whereas if we want to play rank and flank, then we're going to pick up our 8th ed, whatever Ed Warhammer armies.
Yeah. I'm not made of money, you know what I mean? Can't fucking spend £35 on an infantry box. That's like 200 points.
Yeah, that you need about 8 of to fucking play a game. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the problem. But the fantasy's always been the mass battle game, though, isn't it? You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Paolo playing like 1,200 points.
We've only got little armies, but I mean, in fairness, we're just starting up, aren't we? There's no fucking rush on this. Just paint up a few small armies, get a few games in. It's just having a laugh, innit? Playing something different.
It literally is an excuse to get a curry in it. So
yeah, there is that. Awesome breakfast hammer.
What armies have you been using then? What have you been fielding on the battlefield recently?
Fuck all.
I played it nearly like 7 months or something.
Last time me and Connor played was what did we play? We played a bit of 40k, didn't we, in August last year before the 47th lockdown, and then fuck all since then. Yeah. It was actually.
I like 9th edition.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you two have played it, but I like it really. I think it's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've not played. Yeah, I've not played it.
9th edition. I can't bear 9th edition. I think it's horrible.
Oh, here we go. I want 2nd edition. Where's the wandering ambles?
I've played every edition, right? And 9th is the worst. The worst edition.
Oh, mate.
What was the best edition?
To be honest, I think 3rd is probably the best. It's got a lot of creativity in it. It's the first time they really embraced the proper grimdark in 3rd, and it's got a certain feel to it. A lot of the codexes are really good. There's a lot of freedom in designing your armies, whether that's your marine armies, your guard armies, your inquisitors, all this kind of stuff.
The chaos armies in 3rd edition were bonkers.
Yeah, and there were really great armories, and it was still at that time when they were producing rules for models that didn't exist, so you had to go away and like make them up, you know.
Yeah, conversions and get all your bits out and stuff.
Yeah, it was a kit basher's dream 3rd, and there was loads of mad army lists like Kroot Mercenaries and Ulthway Strike Forces and Steel Legion and Orc Speed Boys and all that. There was everything. So many different armies in 3rd. It was unreal.
Yeah, that Armageddon Codex was really good, man. They've got rules for hive gangers for use in 40k.
Sick.
In Armageddon.
Yeah,
that is good, that, isn't it?
In my head, when I think of Warhammer, I only think of 3rd. I can't picture what the other editions even look like, to be honest. I'm a bit behind the times, I think.
Yeah.
I tell you what my problem is with 9th, though, because this is how this started, because I said 9th was shit, so I feel like I have to explain why I think it's shit. It's the stratagems and the special rules make it feel like Magic the Gathering to me.
I know. Yeah, I mean,
it's the combos.
Yeah, there is like combo and stuff up, but I think from my point of view, I am fucking wank. I mean, you've been playing games forever. You've got every fucking game book of all time, so you've obviously got a head that understands these things, right? I'm assuming anyway. I am fucking thick. I cannot understand rules, and I don't soak them up. So for me, 9th is, while it's maybe not as immersive as some of the earlier ones, it's easy. And I can pick it up, I can play with Connor, we can have a laugh, we can get a bit of scran, and that's our fucking evening, and we're enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't have to spend 47 hours explaining to me what Miami does. That's the draw.
I can totally see the appeal of a game that's got a very gentle learning curve. Do you know what I mean? I can totally see that. But I think, if anything, my argument is that maybe 9th isn't simple enough. It's for people who love to find loopholes and people who love to break the game because they can go like, oh well, if I put this unit next to this unit and do this, I'm basically going to nerf the game.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it, not anything else.
So, like, there's two approaches, isn't there? There's the approach that me and Paolo have, where we've got an understanding that we're not trying to take each other's head off. So then it's a sick game because it's easy. But then on the competitive side, that's what people want. They want to fucking nerf the game. So it gives both approaches, like validity. Like, you can do both kind of things in the same game, as opposed to fifth, where it's like rules on rules on rules, like even to the point where if my tank's got its arse shown to you, it's different if you shoot at it, that kind of thing. So it gives you different things that you can expand on.
I think you make the biggest point that you've made here, and the one I agree with, is the game is what it is by picking who you play with. So I totally agree with that. But the way that the game is built dictates how people will play it that you maybe haven't played with. So if you go down to your local GW or your games, your games club or whatever, the game is built in a way that the person on the other side of the table to you has probably created some horrible, nasty Reddit list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think
and it's just going to stomp on you.
It's one of the things, in the current era, I don't think that happens as much because you've got things like Facebook where you go, oh, are you in tonight? And they'll go, yeah. So what kind of game do you want to play? Do you know what I mean? So I don't think there's that thing of like, oh, you meet some random sweaty dude at a fucking dingy fanboy 3, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna smash you with this towel list, and like, oh, I've got beastmen, I can't even fucking do anything. So it's just one of the things, isn't it? Like, the times have moved on where you can speak to people over like Facebook or whatever.
Do any of you used to play any Magic the Gathering?
Oh, mate.
But do you know what it is?
I do, yeah.
Right. Okay. So. Obviously the card game, and it's all about creating these combos and that. And the reason that I'm drawing the parallel between the two of them is I played a lot of Magic with a lot of people because I used to sell a lot of it. And Magic's one of those things where, you can go online and read about what the best deck is and people just buy it. And when you see people playing it, you know what they've got. That's that deck that I've seen online, right? And now 40k is getting like that. I've played with people who I wouldn't have said were competitive. And all of a sudden I'm going, this army works pretty well, didn't it? How did you come up with this? And they just go, oh, no, I don't know, I just threw it together. And then I go, hang on. And I write the unit choices into the internet, and it comes up as Tyranid competitive list. And it's like, right, okay. So basically what you've done is gone on Reddit, realised that if you give this army rule to your Gene Stealers and keep them next to your Brood Lords, they're going to get X amount of attacks and can move fucking 3 feet in turn 1 and get into close combat with you, and you just think, right, that's boring. That's really boring.
Have you heard about the Leaf Blower list, though? The famous 5th edition Leaf Blower. That was the easiest army to play ever, and it was one of the things where it was like some dude came up with it on Reddit. What you do is you put everything in transports, and then you win. That was in 5th edition. Like,
is that what that is? Because I've heard the name about loads.
Blower,
I've never really understood what it meant.
There was a Grey Knight one, a Space Wolf one, an Imperial Guard one, and you could do it with a lot of different armies, but that's even easier because all you do is you put stuff in transports, and then you can't die. So it's one of the things, isn't it? It's like there's loopholes and net lists every edition. So this edition's not as bad for it because you have to have a little bit of skill with like skill. I don't really know about skill, but there's a timing kind of thing to it where you've got to have stuff in aura range, and you got to use these stratagems and shit, as opposed to put all your shit in tanks and just winning automatically. Which is what used to happen in 5th and 6th and stuff. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I mean, just to me, because just my personal experience is I've seen people fielding, ever more now that I see is people fielding very similar lists because the internet has informed you what the best way to run this army is.
I think that goes back to your opponents, though, doesn't it? If you've got a drive to fucking beat your mate under any circumstances, then really you're going to do it, and you're going to go online, you're going to get these lists, and then you're going to fucking do the victory dance because you just fucking downloaded a net list and beat your mate. But really, why would you fucking... If you're playing with people like that and you're playing with the wrong sort of people, if you just want a nice friendly game, you know what I mean, a cup of tea and a fucking hobnob, it's... Me and Connor, that's not something... Connor designs all his own lists, and I design mine, and he helps me tweak it a little bit, but we're just fucking... Is this going to work? Well, let's try it and have a go. We're just fucking... It's a lot more casual for us, isn't it? We're not gamers with a capital G.
I love close games are my favourite thing where one person just ekes it out. Mm-hmm. So it's one of the things in it where it just goes back to that where you've got to know who you play and you've got to know what their mindset is. But
if you're going to roll down to fucking Element Games on a Thursday night with your army, you know you're going to fucking get absolutely.
You've got to be not asked about if you lose or not.
Definitely, you've got to be able to take it on the chin, and some sweaty is going to fucking literally just destroy you on turn alpha strike your turn one, because that's probably what's going to happen. And on your head, be it. If you want to do it, then you've got to be willing to take it on the chin, or you could just play your mate and say, "Let's just take what we want, have a bit of a laugh," and it's just different ways of playing, and people do play that. Even with the mates, they play super competitively. I know my mate, the gas man, him and his mates have got this thing where they all have to take the most fucking hardest army they could possibly can, because that's the way their dynamic plays, and that's the way all of them play 40k. That's just how it is. It's
I suppose if you're in that group and that's the everyone's got their hands on the table going, this is how we're doing it, then. Yeah, I guess fair play. But you're right. It just comes back to what you're saying. You're absolutely right. It's about picking the right opponent, in it. About playing with people who want to play the way you play.
That's it.
It's like mates in it in real life. Like you're not gonna say we're not gonna be mates with a racist dude, because it's just different in it. And it's the same here. Like you're not gonna be mates with people who don't share that same thing with you. I don't know.
I just think I worry about what I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of is a young kid who maybe doesn't already have any mates who play Warhammer, who's gone down to the local store, bought his models and all that. He's putting his army together.
Well, I'll stop you there, Jamie, because there's no way he's buying an army. So end of thinking. I know what you mean. No, he's just gonna get smashed, and he's gonna fucking tell his mum, and then his mum's gonna get bin it in it. So
either that, or he's gonna go on Facebook and he's gonna get that Reddit list at fucking 8 years old, and he's gonna take that down to GW and absolutely fucking wipe the floor with him. Do you know what I mean? It could go either way these days. Do you know what I mean?
I think sometimes, and if whoever's listening to this, if your local GW is a cool GW, then fair play to you. You know what I mean? But I've been in a lot of GWs that have had a very toxic environment, with regards to gaming.
I can imagine.
I mean, even when me and Connor were used to play in GW, we'd play ourselves in a corner. You know what I mean? We'll find a dark corner.
Play with yourself in the corner of GW.
Yeah.
That's
we only went once
quote.
and we got bad. I don't think why.
Do you guys, how much focus do you guys put on the narrative in your games? Do you produce battle reports after a match and things like that?
Fuck. No.
we like to spice it up in the game, like saying oh, this objective's so and so, and my guy's coming after that because he's fucking I don't know.
Yeah, well,
no shit like that in the game.
We'll give it a bit of story, won't we?
Yeah, it's one of them things though. You've got to have time for it. Like we were gonna do what is it called? Crusade, but we just didn't have the time for it in COVID and stuff. So, but that's definitely something that we will do in the future, which has a story element inbuilt, which will be nice. So we might do some things for Middle of Crisis where we're doing a bit more fluffy stuff, but. Don't know. The thing is for that though, it's are people really asked about here and stuff like that? So that's what I'm bothered about. Because it's like someone telling you about the D&D character, innit? It's are you that asked about hearing about someone else's narrative campaign?
Yeah, very true. Yeah, but I think you get a lot out of that side of things. Compared to the stratagems and just kind of gaming the system. I am definitely more of a person who wants to get a good story out of a battle, and like you said, the good ones are the ones where it's a close call at the end, and you don't know, no one knows who's going to win until the last moment, kind of thing. Yeah. I love doing the whole narrative side of stuff.
I think I've always pushed for narrative games where I can, and especially if I'm doing an event where me and a couple of lads are going to Warhammer World for a couple of days, I'll all right lads, you know what? I'll write a campaign. And, just tell us what army you're taking, and I'll weave it all together, and I'll tell a little story, and I'll be able to tell you what planet we're on, and, what we're doing, and all that hoo-ha. And I just think it adds that extra level to it.
Yeah, especially when it's say 4 people, and it's you've got to play each other and stuff. I do rate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so actually, leading on from that, I have got some units that are unpainted that I want to bring to scenarios to use. What would be a good method for batch getting them up to scratch? I'm thinking probably an undercoat and then maybe a contrast or something over the top. So let's talk a bit of practical hobby stuff. Yeah. How can I quickly get these unpainted minis ready to field?
What are they?
And cheaply. Night Gaunts from Age of Sigmar, but I gave them all lasguns instead, so they look like Dead Guard or something.
That's contrast central. That
absolutely.
Do a bit of grey sear undercoat, or if you can't be asked for grey sear, it doesn't really matter. Just get something from Alfred's. Get some but you want like a not see-through undercoat, but like a more paler undercoat. And then fucking contrast them all, wash them, and then base them. And then if you want to do highlights on a dry brush, do that as well. And then that's literally it. And then you can go back to them if you'd like to. That's what I do for all my stuff.
I think if something's ghostly or ethereal, it will suit that less detailed look anyway, won't it?
Dry brushes are you mate for that, aren't they?
Yeah, you got the GW actually do ethereal paints. There's a couple of Night Gaunt blue and Night Gaunt green. I can't remember what the fucking called. some shit like that. But they fucking look great over those Night Gaunt models. They really do. If you get a really pale base on them and slap a load of that on, mate, fucking laughing.
I think spend more time on your base than you do than you think you're gonna do, because the base really it finishes the
this
model.
This is coming from the guy who'd never based a fucking model his entire life. Until 9th edition came out, you'd never based anything.
I know, I've learned, but it does though. And paint your rims as well.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
Paint your rims black.
I've got a guilty confession here because
please, Jamie. I know what you're gonna say.
What I love on a base, honestly, right, is just paint it a flat colour and rim it black, and that's it. Knee grass, knee flock, knee nout, knee stones. Just a flat colour, like a slab grey or something.
Yeah. No, you want it to look like Saddleworth more.
You got heather on yours, haven't you? It's fucking great. It's well good.
No, because then we'll get round into this whole how busy does your base have to be?
Oh, fucking hell! Don't get started on that.
I can sense this conversation coming.
Oh,
yeah. Another thing as well, that I think, but don't make your base the same colour as your model. Otherwise, it looks a bit weird. I did that by accident with mine, so I had to redo them a little bit. But they just it's like one thing then. But you kind of even if you're doing what Jamie's doing, which I don't advise. Make it contrasting colours or something like that, just so it pops.
Yeah. If you've got a light model, do a dark base. If you've got a dark model, do a light base, and you get a bit of contrast between the two.
I'll shock you here as well. What I've just bought for me most recent models that I'm putting together. I'm putting together some Space Wolves, right? So mini ones, little chibi ones. So bashing some of them together, and for bases, I've bought 25mm see-through plastic.
They look good, them. They look fucking really good. I've seen a few Heresy armors with those on. They look fucking great.
I really like them, and I just think because I've got a bit of OCD, so I get bothered. If I've done grass and I'm playing on a snow map, I think what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? It's messing with my head. But they'll match anywhere. They'll match any board then.
Especially if you're on those mouse mat things.
Yeah.
They would look sick, to be fair.
Yeah, and because they're only little small, and then I don't have to worry about painting them. I don't have to worry about putting anything on them. They're nice for sitting on buildings and stuff as well.
One thing I would think about on that one, mate, is be careful with your super glue, because super glue does that weird white mist thing. So if you fuck it up and put too much on, you're going to mist all your bases.
Yeah,
but just
good point actually. Good point, because the minute they're assembled and everything, but they're placed, they're on blue tack on the bases until I glue them in. So I'm going to have to be careful with the glue, you're right.
You also can't put magnets on the bottom of them, which is annoying.
Yeah, for transport.
I like to magnetise my stuff for transport.
Because you keep yours in a big, really useful box, don't you? And you've got a magnetic strip in the top and bottom.
That's the cool way to do it now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Yeah, man.
It's not as expensive, and I wouldn't do it if I was on a bus, but I've got a car and stuff, so it's not as bad.
I think part of the reason it's become so popular recently is because GW models have become madder and madder.
Yes, and you can't put them in a fucking...
Exactly what I was going to say, mate. You'd be snapping bits off and tree branches and flowers and arms and talons and all that bullshit.
Flim-flams. Literally dripping in flim-flams.
And you try putting one of them into some corrugated foam, and you're pulling out a handful of bits, aren't you?
Fucking like Felder and what's that other fucking KR? They cost you £50 for a fucking foam box for a Terrorgeist. It's like, fucking hell, man, £50 for a load of foam.
Sometimes you need it though if you're going on a bus or something. Imagine, I could not imagine me with my really useful box with this heavy as fuck magnetic fucking plate of steel in. I'd be fucked. I fell up the bus steps about 1,000,000 times, and imagine if I did it with
imagine you did it with your army rather than Bolly's
dudes
army.
in a box.
Heaven forbid.
I know, yeah.
Oh mate, that pyramid.
It makes a good point though, doesn't it? Because have GW gone in this direction, that actually means transporting your army is really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, look at the size of that new Giant. I mean, you'd need a fucking a baby car seat to move that around. How are you going? You're not going to be able to take that on the bus, are you? You need a fucking flim-flam slipping off and all sorts.
Yeah, that new Be'lakor Greater Demon. That's like some huge. You need a car just to put it in the boot, just to take it somewhere.
To be fair, what you do, just don't put him on his base, and then he's about half the size now, so you can probably transport it.
So what do you think about? This is a contentious one. What do you think about base and vehicles?
Yeah, bikes and stuff. You need it, don't you? Because
Yeah, but I'm talking about like Rhinos and Land Raiders and shit.
It's an old thing, that, isn't it? It's the people used to do that back in the day a lot. You'd get it on like a big piece of plastic card or a bit of MDF, and it's a thing.
I've seen it. I've seen people putting Rhinos on these big, like the huge oval bases, like the monster ones.
Yeah.
And actually, because the base, like the base in their infantry, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I've not got an issue. I think if you're going to make a little mini diorama out of it with some grass and stuff like that, then fucking do it. Yeah, it looks cool.
I would do it for my flying vehicles, for like Eldar and stuff, just to not have the sea
ties them in a bit then, doesn't it?
That's making me think the other way about not basing any minis.
Yeah.
I seen a guy playing Epic, and he had all the little Epic Rhinos and Land Raiders and all that, but they were on 40mm circle bases, and I thought, actually, it looked really tidy.
Circle bases? Or like oval? Oh, right, weird.
Because obviously in Epic you don't, well, I'm talking about the first version of Epic, it's like Space
You've
Marine.
got 2 inches, but is it an inch between each model? So it's just like 40k, but scaled down, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you still got unit coherence, but you don't rank up your vehicles in Epic.
No.
They've got a little space between them, just like 40k.
I thought it looked tidy, looked nice.
Well, they used to base the old Epic models, didn't they, back in the day, like a long time ago. I mean, it wasn't in the box, but you'd see people doing Epic armies with bases on the Land Raiders and Rhinos and shit.
Yeah. That's where I'd seen people do, but new armies, but doing it that old way with putting them on bases. I think they looked really smart. Like I've seen some on square bases, some on circular bases. I think they look really good.
Yeah.
Jamie, what do you think about movement trays in 40k?
I think, unfortunately, there's something that's becoming more and more necessary because of unit sizes. And I mean, look, if you're playing Tyranids and you're playing, I don't know, 20 man strong unit of pure strain Gene Stealers, who wants to move them one by one? I wouldn't want to.
I know. Especially when you've got if it's Gene Stealers, you've got to put them on the table and then just take them off straight away, which is such a pain in the ass.
But that's it. But I mean, anything where you've got really high model counts, so I don't know, Gretchens or do you know what I mean, like lots of cheap troops, guardsmen or whatever. I can totally see the value in it, of just putting them in 5.
I was literally thinking about doing it for my Space Marines just for ease of it. Like, I'm not even joking. I want as less fucking pain in the ass as possible. But if I'm playing like a 2,000 point game, units of 5, I can just put them on that, like 3 at the front, 2 at the back. And then it's almost like I'm playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
Well, I saw a guy doing his Marine army, right? And he had his Marine army was on a base, and it was like the whole unit was on one base, right?
That's mental.
But get this right. So he'd styled it all out. It looked really good. So like 2 of them were running forward, and one was like redoing his magazine. It looked cool, you know what I mean? But they were all fixed to this base. But then at the back, he just had a little. He used a counter on it. So if one of them was dead, he would put a counter on, and he'd keep putting counters on until once they were all dead, he'd take the base off. And I just thought, it's kind of like an old Kings of War type thing, isn't it? They did that.
Yeah, that stressed me out.
I think it looked really cool.
It looks cool, but until I want to surround you with like a million Orc boys, and then I'm like, this shit is getting in the way, man.
Yeah, I guess though.
It's a skirmish game, isn't it? It's not a flank and flank game.
But in the 2,000 point or 3,000 point battle you're talking about, who wants to move, 30, 40, 50 models like each turn? And because the rules the way they are, your unit has to stay in coherency with each other anyway. It's not like your missile launcher can go wandering off on his own.
No, yeah.
Which you should be able to.
I do like the idea of movement trays, but that thing about keeping them on with the counters does sound a bit alien to me. I get why they do it in rank and flank games, but in a skirmish game, because everything's like it's I don't know what the word is, but it's like it's not 3D, but like you can move more. There's more movement to it. You're not like stuck in the blocks.
Yeah,
so,
I get it, but I think for certain armies there are necessary evil movement trays. I can definitely see why, and it surprised me that it took GW that long to bring out movement trays, if I'm honest.
Everyone else has been doing it for years, haven't they?
But the other reason I like this counter idea was that your models stay on the table much longer. Your models that you've spent loads of time painting. I mean, we all know what games of Warhammer are like now. Where you can put down your 10-man unit of whatever, and you take them off end of turn 1. And you've spent bloody days or weeks or longer painting them, and they're on the table for 4 minutes.
Devil's advocate, though, if you're on the other side of the table and like you say you've done your first shooting phase and everything's still on the table, even though you've killed 2 units, you're like, oh, doesn't look good,
because
does it?
Once you've destroyed the unit, the whole unit's removed.
Not 2 units, but like say you've killed like I don't know half of 3 units. That kind of thing, and it's like you're looking at the other dude's army like I've not killed anything, but then you're like, oh wait, I have to count all these counters.
Right.
It's just more things. Used to be maybe there's like a stratagem where you can remove the counters and it kills the unit or something. I don't know. More Magic the Gathering bullshit.
But I guess at that point you're starting to get into Apocalypse. I've seen these guys playing Apocalypse when it first came out, and like the newer one a couple of years ago, and there was that many counters on the board. I was like, lads, this is daft. This like.
That new Apocalypse is apparently kind of cool. It's more similar to what you were saying with like Kings of War, where you're keeping your stuff on the table until the whole thing gets killed, which does make sense for Apocalypse because it's not a lot of manoeuvring. You're just kind of fucking blasting each other from each side of the table. And
if you look at the size of some of them blast markers and that, it's ridiculous.
It's like a pizza tray, isn't it? It's fucking ridiculous.
Silly.
Yeah.
So what do you think? All right, here's a good question. What do you think the perfect army size is for playing 40k points wise?
If we've got like a day free,
well,
we're
just
get some
don't worry
curry,
about how long it takes.
Chinese, maybe even get some burritos or something. So we've got all day, right? Yeah, get to Palos in the morning. Breakfast is on. Boom, cup of tea. So I'm thinking
amazing.
1,500 points if we want to do a big game.
But what points gets you the best kind of experience from the game? You think 1,500 points is the sweet spot?
Yeah, man. On that new table that GW have, what's the table size? I don't know, 46 by 60 or something. 44 by 60. That one on 1,500 points with the current point levels is pretty sweet. Yeah. What about you?
Part of my worry is that the current 9th edition doesn't support small games. So I've played a few 500-600 point games and they don't play very well.
No, 500 points is really weird with this new edition. 1,000 points is good. 1,500 points is good, but anything lower than 1,000 points, it gets weird. I don't know why. It's just an odd thing where like the games go too fast. It's like almost like a 2-turn game.
Yeah. Because things die a lot quicker, don't they? I mean, there's a lot of strong weaponry, especially in the new Primaris armies, that things will get taken off really quickly.
So then you've got to get into like terrain and stuff, haven't you?
About 1,500 points is probably about right because you don't get bored after a couple of hours either.
Yeah, exactly.
It's rapid fire enough to get something out of it.
It's 2 hours in it as well. So even if like someone gets their army taken off, you like that was like an hour. Do you want a re-rack? You can get another game in, can't you? Mm-hmm. More than likely.
We did that, didn't we? The first time we played, we got 2 in back to back in about 3 hours maybe, and it was fun as fuck. And I've never thought that about war. Up to this point, I've never really enjoyed 40k that much. I like painting stuff, but I'm not that much of a gamer. Whereas to actually just think, well, just finish the game, fuck it, let's go in for another game. That's rare, and I think that's quite good.
They have sped it up. Like, I mean, to give 9th its credit where it's due, it has made the game a lot more streamlined. So you can bash out a 1,500 point game in I don't know, a couple of hours. Do you know what I mean?
I think the only problem I have with 9th edition though is it can be too quick sometimes because everything dies like rapid.
Do you know
so
what?
You've got to have terrain and stuff, and a lot of people can't afford terrain. Terrain's like it's expensive unless you know how to make it. Then you've got to put a lot of time in it.
Yeah.
There's two points I want to make there. The first is I think armies close with each other too quickly.
It's because the board's so fucking small and everything moves rapid, doesn't it?
So I think that you should have at least a turn. Maybe the second turn you should still be manoeuvring and kind of trying to like outsmart your opponent or circle them or doing whatever. Whereas, to be honest, a lot of armies can close turn 1. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, the Harlequins and stuff like that, it's just, there's no point really playing sometimes.
Yeah. And the second one is, with terrain, I think you make a solid point. Why don't GW do more terrain?
You know what? If GW did more terrain, I wouldn't even buy it. It'll be too expensive.
It'll be expensive.
And you've got to paint it and build it yourself as well from scratch.
You kind of say that though because they make Titans. Do you know what I mean? So people will buy it if they want to buy it.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I meant just for me. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they did with like Necromunda terrain and stuff, which looks pretty sweet. But GW terrain's like it looks cool, but when you play in the game, it's such a pain in the ass because everything's got like little see-through, like see-through things, so you can shoot through about 40 buildings and still get clear in a line of sight sometimes because there's like holes and everything.
Yeah, they changed that in one edition, didn't they? 7th or whatever, and they made basically even if there was a window, you couldn't shoot through scenery and all that. But
I think it's a bit better now. I think in this one you can't shoot through buildings unless you're in them. Which is okay, but then again, it's one of the things where it's not really realistic, but it makes that GW terrain useful, I guess.
I just think GW have never really got the terrain right. I don't think they've ever really done it properly.
It's either really massive pieces of terrain that'll cost you £60 and not that useful, or that's it really. There's nothing in between, is there?
They are pretty though.
Yeah, that 40k Necromunda stuff that you can basically build Sector Imperialis, whatever it's called. Fucking great. It looks amazing. Yeah. Could I be arsed painting it all? Probably not.
It's too much, isn't it? It's too much.
It is a lot, yeah. I mean, we play on old school, what's it called? Polystyrene rocks and stuff like that. Like proper like 2nd edition stuff.
And we've got like a couple of big buildings. And we've got that nice church, that broken church that DW did like ages ago.
Oh,
with, like,
the
stained glass and
stuff. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. We nicked it from Warhammer. I mean, I got it from Warhammer ages ago.
But to me, why have they never done Xenos terrain? Why can't you get Eldar terrain, Orc terrain? It just seems to...
Everybody else makes that, don't they? Fucking everyone's doing it.
It just blows my mind.
They have done it a couple of times, but it's all them fucking fortification things, isn't it? You've got to pay like £1 million points to... Oh, fortifications is mental to me. You've got to pay points to have the board even more crowded. That sounds shit.
I can see the value of it for certain armies, though, where you've got to hide behind a wall. Because it's what I was saying.
Yeah, just do better terrain.
I think they need to do better terrain.
You don't have to buy it.
It blows my mind that, it's plastic, so they could make it all in-house, but they just never seem to have been asked about making terrain.
There is a few good things. I was looking on the GW web store. They've got some good industrial kind of mechanicum type stuff, like big drills and cranes and that kind of thing. But as you said, a lot of it is they're up on stilts. So if you've got two minis, they can see underneath the terrain at each other. So it's like, why is this even on the board? Because it's above all the minis.
Yeah, it looks great, but is it practical? Like Connor said, like it's probably not that practical to play a game of 40k on Necromunda. Yeah, probably. That's absolutely.
Age of Sigmar would be good as well because there's not really a lot of shooting.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. If it was all close combat, it'd probably a lot better, wouldn't it?
But you get like the catwalks and the little walkways and ladders and stairs and stuff. That's all proper cool. But if you got like a rank and flank game, like you're saying, then it's all worthless. You want a game where the minis can all move around independent of each other and like jumping off catwalks and through windows and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think terrain's hard in 40k anyway because there's stuff like Eldar and then Tau, which just straight up ignore the terrain, and then you've got Space Marines who will struggle with it because they're all foot slogging and stuff. So I think it's one of the things where it's hard to get right anyway, rules wise, and then obviously model wise as well, because it does come into the rules when you've got like models and stuff with terrain.
I think that does fall down sometimes as well with who you play against, because what we'll do is we'll set up a battlefield that has a narrative to it, so it'll fit with the missions. So what we'll do is that, whereas other people might just think, well, I'm going to put 6 pieces of scenery down, 1 in each quadrant, and then, do you know what I mean? I think with scenery, it does matter who you're playing against as well, just as much as the army selection.
Yeah, so like what we used to do is, what we still do, but we haven't done it in a while, is like, say you have like a city, and then you'll have like a little like a park or some trees next to it. So like all the objectives are in the city, and then there's like one special objective in like the in like the woods or like the open area. So there's like that's risky to get, but that's what you want. So there's stuff like that where there's like it's like a carrot and a stick kind of thing. Like make your objectives around your terrain.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Definitely.
It's like that. It brings it back to real life warfare where like there's like strategic points on the battlefield or whatever, and if you control that kind of area, it's you have a more powerful like stance in the battle. Or
right, Dawn of War, mate.
Just trying to bring it back a bit.
New question, right? Fire this one at you. If GW brought something out tomorrow, anything of your choosing, what would it be? Wide open. What would you be like? Oh yes, that's mint. That's what I've always wanted.
Orcs with bigger asses.
They're thick enough. Don't do that to them. It's unfair. Yeah, to be fair, look, reader-made orcs would like tickle my fancy quite a bit without the thought pose or whatever it is.
So if GW would do anything, you just want them to redo Orc Boys?
Nah. What I want is Oh, I don't know. That's a fucking hard question. That.
Well, I mean, do you want to see a new race? Do you want to see new vehicles, flyers? Do you want a new character? Do you want to like? Do you know what I mean? Do you want to see another demon Primarch or like another actual Primarch? Do you want a Lehman Russ? Do you like what? Would you?
I want them just to redo Aspect Warriors and I don't want any new things. I want them to just go back to old things and touch them up, man. Because it's so much shit already. Just like chill for a minute and just go back to stuff that you want to redo and then get rid of the stuff that you don't want to redo.
GW have been bad at getting rid of stuff though. Traditionally, they don't really get rid of stuff.
I agree.
No. There's still models around from the fucking 90s, isn't
all the fucking Aspect Warriors, bar maybe a couple, are from the 90s. That's shit.
Yeah, I mean, the Aspect Warriors have been that way for a long time, I must admit. And the Guardians, those Guardians, that's the only Guardian kit there's ever been in full plastic, isn't it?
Yeah, same with a lot of the vehicles, I think. I know the Fire Prism and the Night Spinner are a little bit new, but like the Wraithlord, the Wraithlord, which does still look great, and all the vehicles from the Eldar range still do look amazing, but the Finecast Aspect Warriors and even like the obviously the Sarkon, like the jet bike and stuff, have still like they're alright, but they're just not what it is today. Imagine them next to a fucking Primarch.
So you don't want another new army, you just want them to sort out the old ones.
Yeah, but if there was a new army, I'd want them to do squats, obviously.
I see it coming, man. I see it coming.
Yeah, they've been testing the waters with the squad bounty hunters, haven't they? And they've been dropping little fucking hints here and there. Yeah. It's going to happen.
I think if it wasn't for COVID, we'd have seen that already. So I think we'll see. I think we'll see that either maybe later this year or next year. I think we'll see squats.
I'd love to see them do different Imperial Guard planets, like new Talons, new Valhallans, new Mordian Iron Guard. You know, make the Imperial Guard like they used to be, where you got these different regiments from different planets.
Proper flavour, rather than just fucking endless Cadian.
They just redone the Cadian like upgrade sprue. That annoyed me when they did an upgrade.
I was just about to ask you about that.
It pissed me off that.
Yeah.
Just what you wanted, more
it's not even that.
Cadians.
They didn't redo the kit. They just upgraded it. So you've got to buy the kit and then spend another 25 quid to upgrade it, where it looks pretty much the same.
To what?
Well, all those new heads, I mean, fair enough, they're cool. But I just don't understand why they don't just do a sprue of 10 of those heads with the gas masks on. Because everybody's going to want them. So you're going to have bit stores and that on eBay or private sellers or whatever selling, 10 of those heads for, I don't know, tenner, something ridiculous. And you can be able to pick the rest up for pennies. Because everybody wants and there's only one of that gas mask on each sprue. It's going to be like trying to get hold of old Mark 6 heads, like back in the day,
Yeah, all them Yumgal, Gene Stealer heads, the Cthulhu fucking tentacles. You only get one per fucking sprue, don't you? And they were always the best.
They should lean more heavily into that kind of World War One aesthetic for the Guard. Big trench coats and Prussian helmets and sashes and epaulettes and that kind of thing.
Well, they're redoing Krieg, aren't they?
Yeah.
I thought that was the whole point in that. So that's all them. They're getting rejigged for.
I would imagine they'll get plastics, yeah. I mean, that makes sense, because it doesn't make any sense to me to keep doing Cadian stuff.
Yeah, it's like we were saying. I think Cadian stuff would be more iconic if they'd stopped doing it. The fact that they're still doing it means that, well, no one cares about them anymore. But if you'd stopped when they were at their peak, then they would be as iconic as Guardsmen go,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, actually, because,
I think that the guard range was due a rejig. It definitely is. But to just bring out upgrades for Cadians, I think, is lazy.
It's definitely, man. Definitely. Considering they just brought all those Gaunt Ghosts as well. That look amazing.
I can take or leave them, mate.
Really? I think they look cool.
Too much scenery?
It's one of...
I like them.
Yeah, it is too much scenery. But I get that for them, though. Because they're not... like the thing that annoys me about scenery with like a big model, it's like, how much more money is that? That's just money that... It makes it look worse, and it's money, and you've got to cart that thing around.
Yeah.
For them, it's just like tree branches and stuff like that, which I don't mind, and it adds to them as well. Someone jumping off a fucking half-broken building doesn't add anything to it, but like a little sniper peering through like a little gap in a tree, to me it does add stuff.
It's a mini narrative, isn't it, as to what the model's actually supposed to do. Anyone can jump off a rock.
I could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then my problem is I'm making the narrative myself with my minis. I've come here to make my narrative, and if I'm being sold a mini that's already got a narrative on the base that doesn't add up with what I want to do,
but to be fair though, it is Gaunt's Ghost, so it does have a narrative.
If you're going to be buying Gaunt's Ghost, they are going to be in a swamp shooting fucking chaos people. Yeah.
What else do we want to see that's new?
I'm going to go against fucking Connor. I want a fucking new army, right? I know Squats is going to happen anyway, but I've always had a soft spot since I read about him for the Lock Saddle. You know, the weird lizard guys from that Dan Abnett created. They're like fucking bounty hunter mercenaries. Are they're fucking cool. They're absolute bastards. I just think they're mint, and I just think a little army, or even just a mercenary force that you can tag onto something else of them. I think I'm
really surprised they haven't done a mercenary codex and done some new models, put crew in, maybe put all that sort of stuff in it. Anything that you can just tag on to other armies. Orc freebooters, stuff like that.
What?
You know,
they could have used all the models in Blackstone Fortress. They could have done a codex with just those models, and you dump it into 40k, because every single one of them's a fucking mercenary in their own way. And you've got crew in there, you've got fucking robots, you've got is it a Flasket or a freebooter? You've got a fucking
Rattlings
in there, you've got fucking you could do all that sort of shit. Just drop them in 40k, party time. But I don't think they did they?
The Blackstone Fortress models not get 40k rules, did they not?
I don't know whether they did. The ones that they released, the one with the Galapox infected, and they did.
The Lucidian Starstriders,
Yeah, they were fucking
They were shit
sweet.
in 40k. I put them in my 40k games so much, and I just had to stop putting them in because they all were rubbish.
But really cool, mate. Really cool.
The great and kill team. No, the great and kill team, but in 40k they just stank. They absolutely stank. They were awful. They all had like 5+ saves and 1 wound. They were just rubbish.
Tell you what we say for a new army, right? Do you know those arachnid dudes in like the first couple of Horus Heresy books?
Yeah, where it all kicks off on the spider planet.
On murder,
yeah. That'd be sick. They were hard as fuck in the book.
Yeah, they were fucking nails, weren't they?
They'd be different as well. My beef with squats is they'd just be the same as Imperial Guard.
I don't think they would. I think they'll lean heavily...
We've had this conversation before,
I think they'll lean heavily into the mining aesthetic, and they'll go that way with them.
It's not the aesthetic I'm bothered about, it's the play style.
Well, originally they were on bikes and stuff. They were mostly, a lot of them were heavy reliant on bikes and stuff like that, weren't they? Like mechanised. So I mean, I think they probably would play quite different to Guard, because he did back in the day.
Yeah, I think they'd be much more mechanised. I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds like Gene Stealer Cult though, over and over again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What about Eldar Exodites? That's something that I thought we would have seen already.
Fucking hell! Imagine that.
Eldar and dinosaurs. Who doesn't want that?
Who fucking?
They've got they've got to make it different.
Well, yeah, but you make it part of the Eldar army, don't you? So you put them in if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
If you want to do your army down that Exodite route, you can't. So like the way they did with the Yunari at the end of 7th Ed.
No, I don't see what you're saying. But then you got to have different. It's like a different aesthetic, though, isn't it? You got to have different Guardians and different phases and stuff, because it's like they're as different to Eldar craft worlds as Dark Eldar are.
It'd be a different army. You could drop it into your Eldar. You could drop it into a normal Eldar or a Dark Eldar army, but it would have to be its own self-contained. It'd have to have its own troops, its own rules, its own. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't just like put in a dinosaur as a fucking wave serpent. It'd have to be totally its own thing. But it just
surprises me that the Exodites have been in the Warhammer 40k fluff forever and have never been made.
No, never.
And there's not a lot of things that exist that haven't had models,
Talk to us a little bit about those Exodites. What are they? What makes them different to Craftworld Eldar?
They live on. They're basically backwards Eldar, aren't they? They're like they don't have much technology. They ride around on dinosaurs. That's basically it, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it's the Eldar, the Eldar who had forsaken the life of the kind of high technology and all this kind of almost like Eldar Mormons, aren't they? The kind of
exactly.
They decided to eschew all of that stuff that was the decadence, and they went to go and live on like the Maiden Worlds and harvest dinosaurs and shit. So that when the fall of the Eldar happened, they didn't have a problem. You know what I mean? Slaanesh didn't.
It's like Wood Elves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Eldar Wood Elves. All right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Amazing. See, there's so much cool different ways you can approach existing armies like that. They should do something. They should just twist the theme on every army that exists already and just make a new kind of version of them, like Exodites.
My problem with that is, though, they need to sort out the father army or mother army of that first.
Eldar.
Because, like, Tyranids needs to get the shit sorted. Necrons had the shit sorted, and it's fucking awesome. Who else needs to get the shit sorted? Sisters are getting it at the moment.
What's wrong with the Tyranid army?
It's just shit. It doesn't work in game. Like, it just doesn't work.
Oh, you mean competitively?
Not even like narratively, like you were saying before. it's too much. It's too many models. They need to sort that out.
Yeah, I'm hanging off. I've still got a few tyrannies knocking around because me and Connor this is like going back years. I was planning on messing around with some tyrannies, and I just couldn't face doing 30,000 fucking gaunts. Do you know what I mean? It's not a good. It doesn't make you want to play them. It doesn't make you want to paint them.
So the shit, they're hard to do and they're expensive. So it's just like a trifecta of like I can't be arsed in this army. Yeah, same with like orcs as well.
You can do a Tyranid army and just go big monsters though, right? You can just do carnifexes and shit.
That's shit as well though, and it's one of the things as well that wouldn't be fun for anyone because it's shit. And like if your other person doesn't bring any anti-tank, like what the fuck are they supposed to do? Tyranids are hard, aren't they? Because you need like a balance of like the gaunts being shit on. I don't know. It's just weird, isn't it? Because the monsters need to be good without being too good.
Yeah.
And then you can't have as many gaunts as you want because otherwise that would be OP.
They'd have to make the gaunts better and make the model count less.
What I think they should do is do none of that, but have them recycle. So instead of having 120 guys, you've got 40 guys, but when they die, they just come back and come back. And come back.
without
so it's
number.
Like a swarm. Yeah. I don't know. Hire me for reals, GW.
All right, okay. New topic, right? So I was reading Aya Terra Fanzine issue 1, right, and reading the interview with the guys in the Great Rift, and made us think about Warhammer fiction and Warhammer 40k fiction. Do you read a lot of it? Have you read anything recently? Do you read the new stuff, the old stuff? Tell me where you're at with Warhammer fiction.
I've fucking both, really. I've kind of given up on Heresy. I've not read anything for that for ages. Got a full burnout on that one. But I read a lot of the Warhammer old world fantasy. Working my way through like the Chronicles, odd books here and there, even the ones going back to like the late 80s when it came out, just all of it really, picking and choosing, and same with the 40k stuff. A lot of it's just fucking Space Marines running around shooting shit, and that is dull as fuck. But when you get stuff like Gaunt's Ghosts that really fucking turn that on its head, then yeah, I love it. Absolutely love Warhammer fiction, mate.
Do you know I've never read Gaunt's Ghosts?
I haven't either.
I reckon you did. What about you, Ennis? Have you given him a go?
Yeah, I read the first one, but this was when Dawn of War Winter Assault was coming out. This was like years and years ago, so I don't really remember. But the Gaunt's Ghost stuff, man, it's more like a distant memory to me now.
My worry is it's just going to feel a bit like Sharp. Does it feel a bit like Sharp?
Yeah, it is. It's basic. It is essentially. That's one of the criticisms laid at it. It essentially is Sharp set in the 40k universe, but even for that, it's fucking great. It's really. I mean, Dan Abnett is a good. It's one of the better.
Who's that commissar that's essentially just Flashman?
There's a 40k Flashman. I'm on board with this.
Essentially, yeah. I've forgotten his name, but he's got a whole load of bloody novels, hasn't he? Where he gets into scripts and ends up like being a hero, but he's not a hero, basically.
Is
it Kane?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyphus. Is it Cyphus?
Cyphus Kane or something
Kane,
like that.
It's,
I don't know. But anyway, you know who I mean. And that put me off reading him as well, because I just thought, I don't need a 40k Flashman or a 40k Sharp or whatever. Like, I started reading the Horus Heresy books when they came out, and I've only read about 8 of them. There's no way I can get through the rest of them. It's just too many.
You've got a mountain ahead of you there. There is a lot, yeah. You start fucking... Yeah, you start spinning out after a bit. And it's just
and who knows why did they go to Siege of Terror? They just changed the name and they just kept bringing out Horus Heresy books. I was like, what is that about?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, they've got gold spines now, and it's yeah. I don't know. It could have just carried on as being just to make it a bit more special, maybe. Yeah, but well, they're no more expensive. They've just got a different cover and a different title. Well, they're padding. I think they're almost done now on the Siege of Terror. I've not read any of them, to be honest with you. I think McGreevy is your man for that, but yeah, I think I'm way behind on the Horus Heresy ones.
The books I want to read the most is that Eisenhorn.
Oh, mate, it's fucking brilliant.
I get told a lot to read that because I'm all about the Inquisitor side of 40k. I really love that whole.
Dan Abnett again, isn't it? Yeah. It's fucking
Abnett's the
that. Eisenhorn and Ravener are both fucking brilliant. And in fairness, that I've not read the new one, but the Big Quinn, the third trilogy is fucking insane as well.
Cool,
it's so good.
They're meant to have made some sort of tentative deal about a TV show, didn't they, for Eisenhorn?
Yeah. Someone posted that on Twitter about what might happen and stuff. But yeah, that's supposed to be a thing. But I've not heard anything actually concrete about whether it's going to happen. I think Brendan mentioned it actually quite a while ago, before Christmas at least.
I remember reading about it, maybe it was last year, the year before, that there was kind of talks had been opened about doing a 40k TV show based on the Eisenhorn novel, which would make a great TV show.
If it was done right, it would be, but I mean, I've just got visions. Jamie, do you remember in the fucking, about 1994, they released this little short of some Terminators assaulting a Tyranid spaceship for Games Day? And,
yeah. I do like a tiny, almost like a little pamphlet type book thing.
No, it was a live action.
Oh, right. I thought you meant like the little fiction things, that the mini fiction they release. The live action. No, I don't know if I remember that. No.
Try and find it on YouTube. And
is it just dire-like?
Oh, mate, we were like 14, 13 years old, and we're like, this is fucking wank. and that, for Games Workshop putting anything into film, that just flashes in some head. I'm just thinking, fuck me, this is going to be dog shit.
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't be GW, would it? They would just sign off on it.
Yeah.
Do you not I feel like it should keep in the animated realms though. Live action just wouldn't work. That's the thing. It'd be like Marvel or whatever.
Everything looks goofy, man. When you start putting real humans into the uniforms and stuff, it just doesn't look like realistic.
It doesn't, does it? Yeah, it's got that weird vibe of Red Dwarf about it. I don't think it'd work that well. Whereas Connor's right, I think. Big. Yeah, if they did it in fucking in animated, like you could do a full run of Gaunt's Ghost in animated, like your Clone Wars or something like that, like Star Wars ones. Yeah, and it'd be amazing.
Would they not feel really childish though, done in cartoons?
Mate, have you watched Clone Wars?
No,
it's sick. It's sick, honestly.
No.
Oh, fucking series.
I bought out with Star Wars, man. Completely.
That's alright.
I'm just
it's just if you like Star Wars, it's fucking awesome. It's not childish or anything.
I'm with you, Jamie, and I've bought out Star Wars, but I can see that format working very well for the 40k stuff.
Do you know what the problem is though? If they did a cartoon, it wouldn't be Gaunt's Ghost. Do you know what it would be? It'd be like Marine and Commissar and Tech Priest, and they'd be like they'd be in a little gang wandering about. It'd be Saturday morning cartoon shit. It'd be awful.
Well, like an anime then, Brendan. You like Brendan? Fucking hell. Come out, Jamie. Well, like anime, you love anime.
You've never seen us in the same place, though, have you?
If it was like fucking fucking anime, you'd love anime.
Yeah, a bit of Tao. They're anime.
Do you know what? Yeah, if it was done the right way, then I can see it. You know what I mean? Like that guy who did that. What's that YouTube phenomenon with the Space Marines and all that? The animated thing he did, that was class, and now they've got him on the team now, haven't they?
Is it? Fucking Astartes is sick, bro.
Sick,
so do it like that. That I can get on board with, because it's not really
you're not limited, is it? With a budget. You can draw whatever the fuck you want, and you can make it look amazing. If you've got a limited budget, you can't spend £1 zillion on an explosion because it looks mint. It'll just be a fucking firecracker going off.
And to be fair, I've read Eisenhorn, and some of the scenes in there would be pricey, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it'd be fucking insane, wouldn't it? All through them. Like when Ravener gets fucking burned. I mean, that massive battlefield. Imagine trying to do that in live action. It's just not happening. But you could do it in an animated style or an anime style, and you could do what you want.
I like the Dawn of War 2 trailers, mate.
What, the CGI ones?
Yeah, I think that style looks okay. Some of them look good, and same with the Warhammer Fantasy Battle game thing. There's
never been a better recreation than that intro to Dawn of War #1. That, to me, that's the most Warhammer movie I've ever seen, man. Nothing can top that.
I do like the Dawn of War 2 one, though, with the water spiders and stuff.
You love that, don't you?
I don't know why.
I
love it. When the Dreadnought comes out the thing and goes, "I've come to destroy you," it fucking gives me a boner. It's sick.
I'm going to have to watch these. I've never seen them.
They are good, mate. They are good.
I'll check them out.
Did you guys hear about the, the Dawn of War CGI bits? I'm sure someone do you remember The Last Samurai? The film with Tom Cruise. I'm sure they've basically made a film to go with the movie, the audio track of Last Samurai out of Warhammer. I'm sure someone told me that years ago, and I was like, no way. But yeah, it's the whole fucking thing out of like Warhammer CGI, but Last Samurai.
That's mad.
It's somewhat along them lines anyway. It was somewhat really weird.
Can I be honest? Yeah, I love sometimes when there's that crossover between real life and Warhammer. Like sometimes they get it wrong, but when they get it right, I don't know if that does, but it's so good. Like I saw this diorama in one of these old books. I'm sure Jamie will say which one, but they did a scene where it was based off Zulu, but instead of Zulu warriors, there was orcs.
Yeah, Orcs Drift, aye.
Yeah, that's it, Orcs Drift. Proper, just old school, like they've got influences from films, and they bring it into 40k. Sometimes it works so well, man. I love that kind of thing. Orcs Drift.
Yeah, Bloodbath at Orcs Drift. They did the Imperial Guard they used were the old Praetorian models, the old
Praetorian.
Perry Praetorians. They were amazing models. They go for a fortune on eBay now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see. New Praetorians.
Proper Victorian soldiers, you know what I mean?
I don't even know what they are. I'm going to have to Google that.
They're mint, like they're probably good. They came out for like a little while, but they were never out for
though,
long. Aye, they were. Aye.
Yeah.
They did like an army box, which if you can see the army box on eBay or something goes for crazy money.
Oh, dude,
you got dead men with it as well. A couple of casualties and stuff.
You did get wounded, yeah. Because they really did it in that in a lot of historical war games. You get wounded models, which you can put down for various game reasons. But they did casualties.
Yeah, although, like Henry said, those old metal Imperial Guard, like units, armies were amazing. There was so much character. We were all so fucking different.
There was some hit and miss though. I mean, the Valhallans were not great.
They were better than your normal grey jumpsuit Imperial Guards. Remember them?
I do.
Do you know what I mean? They were so much better. I thought they were cool. I didn't have a bad word to say about any of those units. I thought they were all.
I think the Talon are good, but the Talon were really interesting. But the and the Mordian were interesting, but I can't imagine fielding them because they just look like they're in dress uniform.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like a Destroyer now and again.
Yeah, I love
the
it.
Destroyers are sweet. Yeah,
they were the
beautiful.
fucking pinnacle, weren't they? They were so good.
Talons remind me of like the formation of the SAS in the North African campaign in 1941. Proper just Imperial Guards, like Imperial people dressed up in these like.
It feels like a motley crew to me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Proper desert
remember
rats.
the Raiden beast they did for Talon? That Forge did.
Mate.
Yeah.
How sick is that?
Mulaki or whatever it was, or the Mumlak or whatever.
I thought you would hate that because it looks like the dewback in Star Wars.
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah.
Have I just ruined it for you?
No, not at all. No, I really like.
He's already put his on eBay right now.
No, I sold all my Forge World Imperial Guard stuff went many moons ago. I used to have an Elysian army. I used to have a 1500 point
they're
Elysian.
nice.
And this was back when the Valkyries, you could only buy them in resin. They hadn't done plastic Valkyries.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was... But you know what it was? And I'm not normally bothered by how good the army is, but they were just terrible to play with. Like, Elysians, you took them off the board so quick. Because they were just wearing flak armour and had las guns.
It's always been a struggle, hasn't it? It's like that with stormtroopers and stuff back in the day, wasn't it? With like hot shot las guns.
Yeah, that's all I had. Las guns and flak armour. And no wonder they were getting destroyed.
That's the shit thing with those armies.
Yeah.
I mean, a Forge World Imperial Guard army. Just think about that for a minute, because Forge World models are horrendously expensive, and you need 1,000 models for an Imperial Guard army to make it work.
Yeah, well, it's like, look at what they did with the Horus Heresy and the Solar Auxilia.
Oh God, yeah.
A bloody 30 men in a squad.
Yeah.
And I think the 30-man squad cost you, was it a couple £100, 200 quid or something?
Jesus.
280 quid?
That's a lot,
Or 89 quid, 90 quid or whatever it is. I don't know. It's 100 quid a squad anyway, and you need 2 of them minimum to form a platoon. And that's before you've even started getting your vehicles.
Yeah, it's fucking mental, isn't it? Absolutely mental.
Crazy price. A friend of mine was looking at the difference in price between some of these recasters. He just got in. I personally don't buy any recasted stuff. I'm not that bothered about buying Forge World gear. The odd thing that I want, I'll just pay the price and get it, But I don't buy a lot anyway. But if you're making Horus Heresy armies or whatever, you go to these recasters, you're going to literally end up paying 25% of the price.
Yeah, that's basically how much you look at all the prices, isn't that? I mean, a lot of the stuff. They do have the uses in that they do recast very, very, very old models that you can't buy anymore. Yeah. I think that's where they really shine, because it's a way to access something that you might remember as a kid, and you can't buy it for love nor money. It's £1,000 on eBay as an old metal one, but you might be able to get it for £5 over there, and paint something you miss painting as a child. Do you know what I mean? I think that's where those recaster sites do come in. They do come into their own.
And to be fair, they do finecast stuff in not finecast as well.
They do.
Yeah.
They
finecast
do. Yeah.
is the worst thing ever.
Mate, don't even get me onto finecast.
It's still a thing.
Such a bad idea.
I don't understand how it's still a thing. I don't understand how they get away with it.
Yeah. But I mean, it makes you think how much gravy they're getting off them Forge World models if somebody else can sell them at a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
Same with GW stuff. They still sell GW stuff at cheaper. So I don't know. It's mad to me.
But I mean, GW must have their head screwed on proper with the pricing because they're doing all right, aren't they? So,
yeah, and they're going to bring it up as well.
Very well, yeah.
They always bring it. It always creeps up every now and then, anyway, doesn't it?
Well, you said on the last podcast with Connor, Jamie, they're not the only miniature company that do this. All the other miniature companies that do plastics or resins to a greater extent, none of them are fucking cheap, are they?
No. You mentioned Star Wars before, and I was almost going to say, has anyone tried playing that Star Wars Legion? Because a few people have tried to get me into that.
No, I really want to try it though because it looks kind of cool, but it's expensive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes GW look a bit cheap.
Yeah, it's
really?
weird.
Is it that bad?
It's pretty bad. But I was talking to a guy on Instagram about it because I was basically saying this. I was like, look, I would try it, but fucking hell, isn't it like really expensive? And he went, well, no. He went, not when you think about the size of the army you need, because you don't need a huge army.
Oh, right. Okay.
He said, so really, to be fair, you can probably get an army for 100 quid, 150 quid or whatever. And I was thinking, well, that's not actually that bad, is it? Compared to 40k armies where you need to spend, I don't know, 300 quid or something.
Yeah, it literally is, yeah. Okay, I mean, that makes more sense then. I get why they do that. Because GW do the same kind of thing where they'll pop a price up on the individual character. Because, you buy less of them. I guess it's the same model for that. You're going to buy less stuff, so we'll just hike the price up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I do think the quality on those Star Wars minis is pretty nice.
Yeah. I think from what I've seen, it's a different kind of quality, isn't it, from GW?
The only other issue I had when I was speaking to this lad was like, there's only two sides really, and I know you've got rogue faction,
yeah.
But it's Imperial or Rebel, isn't it?
I thought they did.
Does that not get boring eventually?
Have they not started to do what they call the Trade Federation? I swear they have. I've seen some stuff for that.
Yeah, but then you're not going to fight your Trade Federation against the Stormtroopers or whatever, are you?
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that.
If somebody's got an Endor-themed, New Hope era Stormtrooper army, and then you're knocking about with clone droids or whatever, be bonkers. Whoever you're going to play with, you'd have to be like, right, are you getting Rebels or Imperial? Because literally, I'll have to get the other one.
And that's it.
You know what I mean? That's it, done. So that's the other thing. And it's not like they can even really branch out because Star Wars is two-sided, isn't it?
That's what I think one of the problems with X-Wing, wasn't it? It was like a two-sided thing.
Yeah.
And then you had the bounty hunters and stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can get bounty hunters, and there's quite a lot of Star Wars stuff in that kind of arena. But yeah, I don't know.
What we're talking about then, pricing. Yeah, basically, when I first, I'm gonna moan about this because when I first came into the fucking hobby, as people like to call it, was in 5th edition, and a Land Raider was 40 quid, and that's 50. That's a 20% increase in fucking 10 years or something.
For the same model.
It's fucking
It is the same model as well,
yeah,
isn't
it's the same fucking model. Why has that happened? Have people's wages really gone up 20% in 10 years? No, they haven't.
And the thing is, I don't think it's costing them any more to produce the Land Raider, so there is greed, of course, but, they're a business, isn't there? So, they're out to make money, aren't they? And there's people paying for it. I personally, with my own money, as I said, don't support recasters and all that kind of stuff, but I can understand why people do.
It's just one of the things, people suck off GW for being the best thing ever, but in the background they're hiking everything up and they're ripping you off basically. I know it's a business, but it's the way people treat it like the mate, which annoys me.
Yeah.
What, the guys in the shop?
Yeah, at least no. People online suck them off continuously, and at least when they were a faceless company, you could have a moan about them a little bit. But now if you moan about them now, about the pricing and stuff, people are like, yeah, but they're fucking sick. Have you seen all this stuff? They're jumping off a building and stuff. It's sick.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you were going to say about people in the shop, that's the worst. GW staff have got better over time, though. They used to be terrible.
Yeah, they used to be the fucking worst. I think in the 80s, they were just in the early 90s, they were just normal people like us.
Yeah.
They were fucking metal, and they'd just fucking play some games on a Saturday, do you know what I mean? And then over the course of time, it seems to they just turned into just absolute fucking knobbers, aren't they? Hi! Got some glue with that?
Used to work for GW in Newcastle back in the day, and they were literally, when they were trained at headquarters and all that, or if the regional managers were coming around to check on them, they would be literally saying to people, are you going to buy that today? That was part of they had to say that to people. So the minute you put your hand on anything, or actually the technique was to take the staff member would take the box off the shelf and give it to the customer to look at. And when the customer had it in their hands, the staff member was then meant to say, "So are you going to buy that today?" And that was literally their sales technique.
That'd go back on the fucking shelf, do you know what I mean?
But you know, some easily, like, you know, some lad can be parted with his pocket money because the staff member acts like he's his mate for 5 minutes, and then the minute you've spent your money, he pretty much tells you to fuck off.
And let's be real, a lot of these people haven't got the best social skills, me included.
No,
so
that's very true.
They're very, you know, that could easily be like an easy sale.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. And I remember that being part of pretty much the official, well, it was the official policy. Are you going to buy that today? Oh man. Along with like, oh, so what are you working on?
What
Like,
Image plays my favourite.
Oh yeah, fuck off, yeah. That's the other one, isn't it?
I remember some guy in GW who I didn't know. He must have been like from another store or whatever. And I must have had a long shirt on or whatever because me arms were covered. And he was like, yeah, some people take Warhammer too seriously. Can you imagine knocking about with your Warhammer tattoos and that? And I was like, I was just like, I'll just roll my sleeve up like both of them. So, fucking hell. His face, man, it was class. He was like, no, that's good. Like, oh, they're good. So, fucking, show you me inquisitorial symbol. I'll come back.
I know, mate, honestly, that's how you know that you're legit, because you got an inquisitorial eye tattooed on your fucking forearm.
Purge the unclean.
That's it, mate, legitimate. Yeah, but it always surprised me. Like, you go into these stores and there's room for gaming tables and there's room for painting, but they were never running Warhammer RPGs. You'd think that Games Workshop would have like a little corner table going on. Come and play Wrath and Glory or Dark Heresy or something and try and get kids involved in that side of things as well, you know, instead of just the modelling.
You can't buy them in the shops, though. You could not buy the roleplay games. They
never sold them through the stores. Yeah,
no, it was Fantasy Flight, wasn't it? Well, they like Jamie said earlier on, they pushed them out to Fantasy Flight, and now it's Cubicle 7. They're not they're Games Workshop licensed products, but they're not actually. It's not like your 40k or anything. They've not sold them in the shops for a very, very long time.
They never sold it. Never sold Dark Heresy in the shops.
No, I mean like the roleplay stuff. They used to in the early 90s, didn't they?
Yeah, back when they had Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's what I remember.
Yeah. Well, GW was set up to sell American RPG products to the British market. I mean, that's what it's for. So it used to sell Dungeons and Dragons and all that sort of hoo-ha. I mean, that's what it was originally for, but then obviously it just switched when they just started doing their own gear. You know?
Have you guys played much Warhammer role-playing?
We played at Grog Meet, didn't we? We had a good game of that.
Paulo was saying, you know, you enjoy the novels of the old world. It's perfect to match in with that, isn't it? You know what I mean? If you like playing Warhammer Fantasy Battle and you like reading the novels, then a bit of Warhammer role-playing right up your street, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It is, yeah. It's low fantasy. It is like Connor said, it's a counterpoint to D&D, which is pretty twee and fucking ukulele playing gnomes and shit. Whereas we want to play a potato farmer. Do you know what I
want
mean?
to be scared of a beast man.
I want to be scared of a beast man. I mean, on the table, beast man's fucking dog shit, innit? But in real life, a beast man, is fucking terrifying. Absolutely. So 7 foot tall, fucking covered in flies with a fucking elf's head in its hand or something. Yeah, that's fucking hard, man.
And you can only get that experience with the role playing. You know, like what you've just described there, Paolo. If you were on the board, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I've got my army. But if I was role playing and you said that, I'd be like, oh god, oh crazy.
That's it. That is it. You get that sense of terror, don't you, in a role play game? 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, me and Connor have been looking at the new edition actually on Cubicle 7. I think the only downside is the art is very much, the city art is amazing, but the people, the characters,
digital art's not great.
No, it's not. It's basically that mediocre D&D. You forget instantly forgettable. But Connor said like the best thing. We've spent that much time in the Warhammer world. It's in our fucking brains, so it doesn't matter what that picture on the page is. I can describe to you a fucking gnarly beast man covered in flies, dripping in blood. You know what that is.
You've got that exact image in your head of some artwork that brings to memory, innit?
Yeah, some John Blanche artwork from fucking 1992, and it's there. Bang, done. You're there.
But then you don't need a rulebook, do you? If you're going to go down that route, whatever game you've already got, whether it's, I don't know, D&D or bloody whatever role-playing game you know the rules to, just use that and just play it in the Warhammer world. You're done.
Skin it in the Warhammer world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I'd use D&D though. It's like because I like the that new Warhammer game because it is a little bit it's low fantasy even in the rules set. In D&D the rule set is high fantasy rule set almost, isn't it? Because of the way you
It's
level
much
up.
more heroic.
Heroics.
Yeah.
That's the
there's
word.
a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'd never thought of that, but you're right. Like when we played it, we were fucking some guy who could barely fucking lift his sword, couldn't he? It was really low fantasy.
I think the only
people.
hard we had was we had like a troll slayer or just a slayer or something like that.
That was me. I played troll slayer, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to say it was a fucking that troll
Yeah, he was a
slayer
fucking
wanker,
knob.
weren't you? Nearly got the party killed so many fucking times.
That's sick though, because that's what would happen, isn't it? You trying to fucking try and kill it, go into like a beastmen fucking herdstone, and we're like, we probably shouldn't do that, and you're like, nah, let's fucking go, lad.
I'm trying to die. That's literally what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fucking
Well,
run
yeah,
headlong
that's
into
it.
it.
That's it. So
But
have you read any of the Godric and Felix stuff, the old stuff?
Oh mate, that is my fucking that is my like fantasy God's Ghosts. You know, just those books are just beautiful, aren't they?
I think they're some of the most entertaining Warhammer fantasy novels, like without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good.
They nail it. They've got it's like black humour, describing horrendous stuff, and it's real lo-fi, gritty. Bill King just fucking nails it, doesn't he?
Where should I start with that series, Paolo? What's the first book there that you'd recommend?
What is the first one,
Start
James?
starting it. It's Troll Slayer, isn't it?
No, it's not. That's the second one. I think it's Demon Slayer, the very, very first one.
There's like a double book with the first one and the second one.
There's an omnibus, isn't there?
Omnibus. You can get it from the
Just get volume one.
Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever volume one is.
Number one.
I can't remember. Is it no Skaven Slayers? I don't know.
No, you're right. Troll Slayer's the first one. Skaven Slayer's the second one. If you get in the individual books, and the first one, the Troll Slayer one, has got a couple of short stories in it. It's not a full long book. There's a couple of adventures in there to introduce the two characters, and then as of Skaven Slayer, it's just one long story per book.
The Skaven in that book are fucking mental.
Oh mate, that's where fucking what's his face called Gracie Thankwell's from, isn't it?
Bone Ripper.
Yeah, so
I love the idea in the Warhammer world that most people don't even think Skaven exist.
Yes.
That's brilliant. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was fucking convincing the world it didn't exist. That's it.
All right, Sizer.
It's fucking so good.
Yeah, it's them in the vampire novels. I think
Genevieve.
The Jack Yorville
mate.
ones are brilliant. Like
brilliant. That they're the late 80s, early 90s. They sum up that time.
They've reprinted a lot of them though in modern versions, so you can still get them.
Yeah. They've got red spines, aren't they? They're part of the Warhammer horror.
There's audiobooks and stuff
really
for
good.
And all sorts.
Cool.
Yeah, I think you went in on the audiobooks, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think it works over audiobook. I've got to admit.
Yeah.
Because I was like driving home from like dropping mum off from work, and I was like, this is a bit weird. I think you need to just sit down and read it instead of doing like 15-minute blast.
Yeah, by candlelight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, glass of red wine.
So glass of red wine, fucking.
Yes, Connor. Get a bottle of Cabernet out, little bit of Malbec.
So
and some Warhammer.
all right. So if we're gonna pair drinks with novels, what do you drink when you're reading Horus Heresy?
I don't know.
Cheap lager or something.
Rosé.
Monster Energy.
Yes. Monster Energy. That's what it is.
We have a neck-based drink in it.
Yeah, Monster Energy. With a Monster Energy tattoo. Why do people get that?
That is mental.
It's just weird. It's like getting a fucking 7-Up logo on your arm, isn't it?
Get a boost type.
Drink. Yeah, Cadbury's Boost on your finger.
I did used to like a Boost, mind.
Who doesn't like a Boost? Fucking, there is a meal in a fucking chocolate.
Do you know
bar.
what was that Boost variant with the green?
Guarana. Boost Guarana.
That was the one, man. That was the one.
Peanut butter Boost was the one.
Wow.
Oh, is that?
Starbar, innit?
Can you even get them anymore?
Yeah.
Nah, Starbar had nuts in or something, didn't it?
Yeah, about an hour and a half in, we started talking about chocolate, so we got this far at least.
Mate, Dungeon Pumps.
Whisper Gold. That was my go-to. Like,
you can still get them.
Yeah, Whisper Gold. Defo still get.
Can you? Oh well, I haven't had one for donkeys, years and years.
You can't put them in the fridge though, because the caramel goes all hard. You need to leave them at room temperature.
I used to put a Mars bar in the freezer and then chop it into slices.
Ooh, nice, yeah.
Oh mate, it's really, really good. Put it right in the freezer, get it nice and chilled, so it's proper solid, and then big kitchen knife, watch your fingers, and then slice it into
Thanks, Dad.
probably like so slice it into like maybe 5mm, 6mm slices, and it's a treat.
And chuck it in the deep fat fryer and then enjoy.
You know, it's funny. That's actually how I make my bases for my models.
Out of Mars bars.
Yeah, deep fried bases. Yeah.
So, like Troll Slayer, you've got to read that with a foaming mug of ale, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for Pat Bugman's.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, back to Warhammer. That's what upsets me about Warhammer World. Bugman's is rubbish.
Yeah,
I've never had it. Is it shit?
It's just got no feel about it at all. It's got no atmosphere. It's like a roadside calf.
I thought you meant the beer, because there is actually Bugman's Ale, isn't there?
Yeah, they do like they do a few different Warhammer kind of themed ales.
What, in real life?
But just the room itself, it's just feels like a fucking little chef.
No,
I'm not trying shit. It's rubbish.
Bugman's Ale.
Well, yeah.
I bet it's Foster's. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you, no way they did their own fucking ale.
It's proper.
They do, man.
It's proper ale. It's not lager.
Yeah, it's proper beer. They do like a
anything
black ale, don't they, and a regular one? No, you can't buy it anywhere else but Warhammer World.
Yeah, I don't really drink a lot, but I didn't even know that was a thing. I know they do breakfast and stuff, but they have their own beer and that.
Bugman's breakfast, yeah. Yeah, they do. I thought that's what Jamie meant, because he's saying it's rubbish. I assumed he'd actually had it. I've not had it, you see. I've not tried it.
Yeah, just the room itself, I just think,
it's wanking it.
It's just terrible.
Yeah, it's just loads of like fucking. It's like a harvester. I mean, I love harvester, right? But if I wanted a Warhammer fucking harvester, they've just got some like fucking dwarven stained glass windows that they've put like plastic that they put over the fucking.
Yeah, but imagine this though. Imagine if it was a Weatherspoons instead though, and it had that like all that shit inside it. You'd be like, this is pretty sick.
I'm never going Weatherspoons ever again.
Why?
Because he's a fucking cunt.
Yeah,
he's
a cunt.
His behaviour via lockdown was fucking unacceptable. So I'm boycotting fucking Spoons forever.
Yeah, he's like a Brexit.
I hate the Spoons anyway. I was never a Spoons fan, so.
Spoons breakfast was pretty legit, to be fair. But so that should be no more.
If you want to chuck us a sponsorship, Weatherspoons, then
we'll happily reconsider. But no, you're right. The actual cafe bit is toss. There's no atmosphere at all, is there?
Nah, and they could have done such a good job.
What could they do with it? I mean, you've got oversized plastic props on the wall. You've got like cheap, overpriced.
I think they could have gone like big, long kind of benches that you would get in like a Viking hall. Do you know what I mean? Like metal plates and steins and done all that kind of stuff.
Make
like,
it into a theme bar.
Feel a bit larpy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they could make it into like a sex dungeon for like dark elves. That'd be well better.
Great idea.
You got to eat your food off like cages with like people inside.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm excited to go back to Warhammer World though. I don't know, is it open again now?
Well, it'll be tomorrow. It'll be open tomorrow, won't it?
The hospitality
bit,
the cafe might be.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know about the gaming arena.
Right.
I actually put my email into their website so that I get alerted when it opens back up.
Fucking hell, you love it.
Oh, mate, I love it. I do. I'm only like an hour's drive away from it as well, so it's nice to pop
shit,
down
you're
there.
in the Midlands, aren't you?
Yeah, man. I'm not far away.
Oh,
from
Jamie's got a trek.
Yeah, it's great if you go midweek though, because it's normally pretty. Well, it used to be pretty quiet midweek.
Yeah.
Because when me and my pals used to go, they were all like, "Oh, we're going on a weekend." I'll be like, "No, man, it's chocker on a weekend. Go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or whatever. Have your pick of any table and that. Do you get all the local kids just come in? Well, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? If you live around the corner."
I
Definitely.
would,
Yeah,
get a
for
game
sure.
in, so because you're getting good scenery. At the very least, it's full of fucking smellies and that, but you know you're going to get a table full of good scenery. So it's pros and cons.
Great scenery for you to put your unpainted, unbuilt grey models on. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Does my head in. The last time I was at Warhammer World, I don't know what I did, but I nearly had a stern word with this lad behind us because he was playing Tau, but I swear to God, some of his battle suits didn't even have arms. Never mind about anything else. And they were bloody grey. And he was just pushing them about the boat. I thought, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
No, Jamie, come on.
It's not acceptable.
I thought that was illegal at Warhammer World. Did they not like take them off or something?
Nah.
Oh, I thought they did.
There's none of that hoo-ha. No, they used to be really stringent, didn't they? Even in the Games Workshop shops, you had to have your models full colour and based or whatever. They don't worry about any of that now. You can just push your blobs of grey around the table. Like there
was a guy once in Manchester Warhammer Games Workshop who only painted one half of his models, the front half, because he painted for his opponent, because he only can see the back half. It was mental. His reasoning was mental. It didn't make sense.
So in like a 40k one, so he'd only play.
It was Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and he only painted the front rank. No, the front half of each model.
That's weird. That'd be more that's harder than actually painting the old fucking model.
I didn't understand it. It was so weird.
I'll tell you an interesting fact. In the early White Dwarfs, right, you go back to the 80s and 90s, a lot of those really famous dioramas are only the models in them are only painted on the front because they were designed to be photographed for the magazine. So you look at the diorama and you just tilt it very slightly, and all the back's just metal.
No way.
And just but when you look at it straight on, you think the whole thing's painted. It's not. So I've seen them at a few of these dioramas in real life, and the backs haven't been painted.
Weird.
It's mad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, really weird.
That's
so maybe this guy's just doing an artistic homage to the late 80s or something. You know what I mean?
That is weird. That I can feel my skin itching. That.
But I think honestly, if you're going to go to Warhammer World, if you're going to push any model around a table, at least paint it. I mean, at least put the arms on. Put the arms on.
Yeah. Come on.
Maybe he was going to paint it, and like when you do like half build a model, maybe he was just doing that. Because if you put it all on all at once, you fucked, aren't you?
I'm serious. I wouldn't play an opponent who didn't have his models even assembled. I'd say no.
Yeah, me and Connie used to play at a place in Stockport called Element. Do you remember the man-child kid who he turned up with a fucking I don't know how much he spent on a Horus Heresy army. I mean, it's a labour of love in it, Horus Heresy army. If you're going to do it, do it properly. And they were just legs on bases and a fucking one of their, what's that flying spaceship called? Not the Thunderbird, the one down from it.
The Storm Eagle.
Storm Eagle, another gunship, and he put it together and it was all bent because he'd not unwarped it. He just glued it together and put it on the fucking table and up with a load of legs, and I was like, why have you even bothered spending money on that? It's just fucking insane.
I've just been looking up the Warhammer World opening times, just for anyone who's curious. The stores are open, but the exhibition hall and the gaming hall and Bugman's Bar are still closed until further notice. So basically all the fun bits of Warhammer World are closed, just the shop.
Yeah. You can go and spend your money still.
Yeah.
But to
be fair, that shop is still the only place you can get some gear. So if you want to go and get your, I don't know, Realm of Chaos or whatever, then Champion, you know what I mean? That's where you have to go there. So I can kind of see there's still some appeal there, isn't there?
Yeah, they do some good Forge World bits and like Escher upgrades and like little Necromunda head packs and stuff and all these kind of weird little extra bits that I'll see there. You know, they've got those boxes that don't even have artwork on them. They're just like white boxes because they're not for bigger sale and that kind of thing. So I always enjoy browsing the store. There's some good stuff in there, but I haven't got
just look at the white boxes.
Yeah, just look at the white boxes. Yeah.
With writing on that says what it is.
It's so easy to spend a lot of money in Forge World, though, when you're in the physical store. It's mad.
Yeah, that's a weird thing with that place. Like, if I'm going to go around Warhammer World and go into the actual Games Workshop shop, I'm like, I can get this 20% off on the internet. Why the fuck am I going to pay these prices? Whereas Forge World, you can't. That is the price, and you can only buy it from Forge World. So I can see the point of the Forge World, but I don't know why people buy stuff from Games Workshop when you can get it cheap.
Do you know Stephen, Wolverine Blues? Yeah. So basically, right, I'm gonna call him out here because this was mental. So he's in the UK and we want to go to Warhammer World, but he was like, I'm gonna spend so much money in the Forge World shop because obviously it's a pain in the ass to get it in the US, isn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna spend so much money. Does anyone want anything? Because I'll fucking buy it. You know, I'm prepared to spend cash here. So we went down all the way from Leeds for Stephen. He gets in there and he buys that bounty hunter and he goes, I think I'm just going to get this. And we're like, what? You were just going to spend fucking loads of money? You're going to buy like a Thunderbird and shit? He's like, nah, I'm just going to want this bounty hunter now. It's like, are you fucking penis?
Okay. Jesus.
That was after the try by dice, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was, you know.
Yeah.
It was the day after.
Stephen feeling called out right now. Sorry, Stephen.
Nah, fuck you, Stephen. That was mental.
But do you know what though, mate, right? What you were saying before, why people spend money in GW when they can get it cheaper somewhere else. I've noticed this, and it's really weird, and it's a culture that you get in the GW stores, that you get these customers, these like loyal hanger-on customers who are always in there, and they spend their money there, as almost like it buys them some sort of legitimacy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Like it's a gang or something.
In their little crowd, yeah. Whereas, you're right, you can go online and get your stuff 20-25% off or whatever, do you know what I mean, from wherever. Why wouldn't you do that? Doesn't make any sense.
The only time
it's like the local pub, innit, maybe? Like, they hang around you hang around your local pub, you might pay a bit more, but because Is that sort of setup like? They feel a bit of loyalty to the shop?
Yeah, you're paying for the community, aren't you, in a way?
Yeah, that's...
I'd love to think it was that altruistic, but I just don't think it is. I think it's more like, if I've spent X amount of money in this shop, I'm more important than the person who hasn't.
Yeah, I think
it probably
right.
is, isn't it?
I do always try and buy something for playing inside there, though. Just for, the thing of it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good thing, isn't it? Because otherwise you're just going in and you're taking the piss, really, aren't you? If you just...
It's like, because of a lot of other places charge, don't they? So I always feel like, if you're not charging, then I'll try and buy a pay or something. Even though I'm definitely not going to use it because fuck paying. But
You've paid loads in the last 12 months. You're a fucking hobby fiend.
Right, well, we seem to have drawn that to a close, haven't we? put the GW world to rights, done.
We really need to play a RPG together, guys. We need to do either Wrath and Glory, some 40k, or some fantasy role playing. We need to get that on board, I think. And
get some Necromunda shit, and we'll fucking we'll do a Necromunda day in Manchester or something. That's on the cards.
I've got minis already for that, so I'm down for that easily. Yeah, man, let's do that.
That'd be decent. I reckon we should run some Warhammer. Do a MEC, HEF Warhammer thing. Just do Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Just us four, maybe, and just play like a
just us, yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
And then you could do a live play or something, or I don't know.
Love Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, bloody love it.
Which edition would you do, Jamie? Because obviously you're going to run it because you're the cleverest.
Do you know what? Just because I've got all the books, I would use the first one.
Yeah.
But I'll take all that singing bullshit out that you don't like. So
yeah, yeah, fuck that noise. It's not D&D.
But I've got some of the early adventures, and do you know what? Some of them are pretty gnarly. Like some of them are pretty cool. Like quite dark. Some of them are quite dark stuff,
Yeah, Shadows over Bogenhafen and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll just do the beginning of the Enemy Within.
Enemy Within is what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about 40k role playing? What's the good choice for that? I know Dark Heresy is just outside my price range. Like,
Dark Heresy is a great game because it's kind of just the sci-fi version of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. That's the way they did it.
Awesome.
The first and second edition are both really good. Yeah, it's out of print now, so it's hard to get, but it is a good game, because it's really low level. You're playing just normal people.
I think it's one of those. The shit ones sound like when you're playing Space Marines. I don't know what your views on that are, Jamie. Others, but it just sounds really dry to me.
What they did was obviously they started with Dark Heresy, and then they started doing some more. So you did Death Watch, where you played members of the Death Watch, and you did Only War, where you played Guardsmen. Black Crusade, where you played the Chaos Guys, was a bit of a weird one. Because character options, right? You could be a regular Chaos cultist, like somebody who's sold your soul to Chaos and all that. Or you could play a bloody Chaos Space Marine.
That's pretty man. That's a big jump, isn't
it?
That is a massive jump. Why would you not play a 9-foot tall,
immortal,
basically unkilling immortal? Yeah, rather than some puny little human. So it just blew my mind that those were options. But yeah, the one where you played Space Marines, where you played the Death Watch, it was really bad. It was a bit. Yeah, there wasn't much to it, to be honest, because it was just shooting swarms of Tyranids. But the Dark Heresy game itself feels a lot like the Eisenhorn novels, to go back to them. So you play a bunch of kind of low-level guys who have been hired by an Inquisitor to kind of do jobs and go on missions and that. So it kind of makes sense, because then you can just be like a little tech priest or like a death cult assassin, or like a veteran guardsman or something like that.
Oh right, you know what I mean? That's cool. I thought it was even lower level than that, but that does sound cool, because then you're a bit of a lad, then, aren't you? Yeah,
that's what you want. You want to be like a rogue trader kind of squad, isn't it? You want to be like on board a ship or going about being rogue traders or whatever. That's 40k role playing to me, man.
That's okay, cool, right. Yeah. That does sound good then. I thought it was lower than that, so I was like, would you not just be getting beat up all the time? But
a farmer.
Yeah. Like a
rat catcher in space.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But yeah. If you're a Death Cult Assassin, that's sick. I want to play one of those Yakera weaponsmiths.
Yeah. I'd be a Hurud.
They did supplements where you could play like Grey Knights and shit, which was alright, but I think by the time you role playing Space Marines, you're kind of missing the point.
Yeah. Just throwing dice into buckets, aren't you?
You might as well play a fucking Age of Sigmar and play a fucking Stormcast. You know what I mean? It's, You want to play a shitheel, don't you? With some threat that if you fluff this dice roll up, you might die and not come back again.
Some Warhammer Fantasy roleplay in the Drakwild Forest, trying to avoid beastmen.
Yes. Fucking
absolute winner.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It would be the same as if they made a Warhammer film. They'd have to cast normal people as Imperial Guard and have the Space Marines be like secondary characters who arrive in to look bigger and stronger. You couldn't have a Space Marine as a main character. It'd have to be like some on the peripherals, so you get a sense of that kind of
otherness
otherness.
Yeah. I think that's what Dan Abnett really nails in the Gaunt's Ghost. When Space Marines do rock up every now and again, the way they are, the humans can't relate to them because they're so other. They're just not on the same level as humanity anymore, and he fucking nails that. Yeah,
he really does. And have you ever read any of his graphic novels, Dan Abnett's 40k graphic novels?
I've not, mate. No.
There's some good ones. I think there's one called Lone Wolf, or the beginning of the Space Wolves ones anyway. And there's these Valhallans fighting Tyranids, and they meet Space Wolves, and the difference between them is just the way Dan Abnett does it. It's so cool.
Sick.
So, because these Valhalla, not to spoil it, but like just to paint the picture, these Valhallans, like, they see this Carnifex like heading for these Space Wolves, and Space Wolves obviously going to get eaten. So he turns the Chimera around and just basically goes to just charge at that Tyranid. Doesn't matter if we're going to die. I'm going to save this Space Wolf. So he just charges into this Carnifex and like knacks it. And the Space Wolf just like kind of dusts himself off and looks down at this tiny Valhallan, and he's just like, nice one, cheers. And then like inducts them into his little gang, and they're drinking around the fire and that. And it's mad. It's really good. Cool. Oh, it's really good. Yeah. And then the Valhallans are all like, oh, what we're doing? And he's like, oh, we're just setting off this beacon. And he was like, won't that attract Tyranids? He's like, yeah. Like, and I'm like, oh. So, yeah, it's good, man. It's well worth checking out with some of the graphic novels. Because he did some good ones. He did, like, there was ones where Sisters of Battle, and he did a Titan-based one where it was all, like, he followed a Titan crew. And it was just called Titanicus, I think.
Sick.
And it was really good. You can still get them. You can get them in collected editions. Because you don't remember the Warhammer comic Inferno?
I missed that first time round. Yeah, I think
it came out for ages. It came out as like a monthly comic book, and they used to do all these different stories in it and that. Good.
Wow, cool. You're blowing our minds right now, dude.
Yeah, there you go. So check out some old school 40k graphic novel fiction. It's all out there.
Amazing. Well, that's brilliant. Thanks for bringing that up. Amazing. Thanks for chatting today, guys. It's been really fun.
It's been mint, mate. Absolutely mint.
Yeah, and I'll get writing an adventure for us to explore the dark underbelly of the Empire.
Yes, fucking quality.
Brilliant. All right, prepare for an actual play, listeners.
No, yeah, don't prepare for it.
Right, thanks, chaps.
All right, lads.
Cool.
Enjoy your Sunday dinners.
Catch you later.
Without a doubt.
See you in a bit.
Nice one, guys. Good
Cheers,
night.
boys.
Cheers, mate.